download it from there. It's free. Check it out. Here's Phil.
Thanks, Dave, and good afternoon, Central Coast. The body of a man found Monday in Aptos Creek has been identified as 46-year-old Stephen Rawls. Rawls was last heard from on May 2nd, although his cause of death has not been yet determined. No foul play is suspected. And the Santa Cruz Police Department recovered 2 stolen bikes earlier this week with the help of some Good Samaritans. Tavia Avila has more on that story.
44-year-old John Walkenbach was seen stealing a bike in the area of Ocean and Felker Streets. A witness took a picture and turned it in to the Santa Cruz Police Department. Officers located Walkenbach in the same area the next day and arrested him for grand theft. During the investigation, 2 bikes were recovered. The first bike that was seen being stolen was returned to the police department by Walkenbach's friends. A second stolen bike was found stashed near the San Lorenzo Park. Both bikes have been returned to their owners. This is Tavia Avila for KSCO Radio News.
A woman was arrested yesterday morning in Salinas. Maria Alvarez is believed to be involved with a drug smuggling operation in Monterey County Jail. Alvarez joins 4 other people who have already been booked into the Monterey County Jail on drug smuggling charges. Additionally, Alvarez faces charges of child endangerment after she stored methamphetamine near a 3-year-old child. A 30-year-old Monterey County Jail inmate has been found guilty of battering another inmate. Corey John Lee Lanite has said to have led 4 other inmates in the attack last month. The other 4 have all pleaded guilty to taking part in the attack. And former Salinas City Councilman Jose Castaneda was found guilty of domestic violence. Richard Maroney has the details.
An ex-girlfriend accused Castaneda of stalking, kidnapping, sexual battery, and physically injuring her. The jury deadlocked on the sexual battery charge. Castaneda faces a maximum sentence of 9 years and 8 months in prison. Sentencing is scheduled to be on June 22nd. This is Richard Maroney for KSCO Radio.
And California's unfunded pension debt is approaching $500 billion, and in an attempt to slow down that runaway train, Assemblyman Bill Breaux introduced the California Pension Protection Act of 2017.
This proposal does not eliminate any existing retirement guarantees. Let me be clear on that. It simply allows voters the opportunity to weigh on whether a new plan should be created or an existing plan or benefit should be expanded.
ACA 15 would give voters a voice in their government's pension decisions and protect vital services that could be threatened by unfunded pension debt. It's 4:14. Time to get back over to Dave Michaels. I'm Phil D. Seth for KSCO Radio.
Hi, folks. It's Jim Peterson of Solar for America by Peterson Dean. And how many ads do you hear out there right now on solar companies discounting, discounting, discounting? What does American style mean? Look, the guys out there heavily discounting do not sell you panels made in America. They're made in Mexico and Malaysia. That's a fact. How do you start a relationship with a solar company that lies to you right off the bat? Then they want to have a 20-year relationship with you when they've lied and cheated on you from the word say go? I'll never do that to you at Solar for America. It's always American made by Americans 100% of the time. Roof, solar, backup battery, and home fencing. We don't discount the heck out of our products because we want to be here for you when you need us down the road. I've been doing nothing but roofing and solar since I was 16 years old. This is all I know. I don't lie to you. I'll always build you the best American-made roof, solar, backup battery, or fence money can buy. Give me a call today at 888-389-1249. 888-389-1249. Again, Solar for America, 888-389-1249. CSLB 468-117.
It's always open house at the Mike Young Real Estate Hour, and you are always invited to walk right in and join the discussion. Hello, I am Mike Young, and I love talking real estate with all the experts and with you. So get a jump on the Real Estate Weekend every Friday, 7 p.m. on the Mike Young Real Estate Hour, right here on Listen and Be Heard Radio KSCO. The Mike Young Real Estate Hour is brought to you by Thunderbird Real Estate, Real People Selling Real Estate, by Rick Williams at American Pacific Mortgage, and by Steve Manville at Farmers Insurance. Friday at 7. See you then.
Hi, this is Dr. David Biles. I want to thank the listeners of the Perspective Radio Show for keeping Santa Cruz County fluoride-free and spreading the word on Agenda 21, chemtrails, geoengineering, the hazards of flu shots, vaccines, and the benefits of oil pulling and biological dentistry. Listen to me, Dr. David Biles, and the other Perspective hosts as we air the most influential hour on KSCO, noon to 1 every Saturday, 1080 AM, 104.1 FM, and KSCO.com.
You're listening to KSCO, serving King City, Mount Hermon, and Chular.
Listening to AM 1080 KSCO Santa Cruz. The time is now 4:17. We got a call about some smoke being reported down in Carmel Valley.
Yeah, you know what they say when there's
Drea,
smoke.
What did you find out?
I did about 55 minutes ago.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. Hello, everybody.
You're listening to Flight 1080, by the way.
Yeah, so welcome. CAL FIRE responds to a vegetation fire in Carmel Valley. This was posted on a blog by Sarah Rubin 55 minutes ago. A fire season is back, and CAL FIRE officials are in the first stages of responding to a small vegetation fire about 50 feet by 50 feet off Schulte Road. Schulte. It's German.
Is it really?
Yeah, Schulte. Yeah.
Okay.
Road in Carmel Valley. It's just a tiny little fire, says CAL FIRE Captain John Spooner. Just because of its location and challenges to get to it, Spooner says he expects it might spread a little before crews arrive on Thursday afternoon. It makes it sound like they're waiting around. They have on their schedule somewhere. But this is a block. So a dozen forehand crews and several fire engines are en route as of 3:20 p.m. An aircraft overhead is also on the scene as a coordinator, not an air tanker.
So when did that? When did she print that?
This is about an hour ago.
Yeah, because Phil says now there's an air tanker out there, so it must have maybe it's possibly grown.
That's happened within the last hour. So it doesn't sound like there's anything to worry about if you guys are seeing something. To Carmel Valley. There's some smoke, 50 by 50 feet.
I don't see anything reported by CHP yet either, so hopefully it'll stay small.
Yeah, I only found one thing.
Okay.
So.
Sarah Rubin, I think, is a reporter for the Monterey Herald.
This is from on the Monterey County Weekly.
Oh,
and
okay.
Actually,
so you work for the Weekly.
And actually, well, a lot of journalists work for a bunch of papers.
I don't know.
They write for the Sentinel, and they'll write for the Times, or they'll write for the this and the Chronicle.
Yes.
It's that kind of job. Can be, I believe.
Where were you at yesterday? What did you do yesterday, Drea? Did you do anything fun?
I was breathing. I ate something.
This was not you holding the machete dressed like a clown?
Doing what?
Holding a machete dressed like a clown?
No, I held back on that. I was tempted.
Did you see this on our Facebook page?
No,
This is great,
slow
Ben.
today,
This is great. So some clown,
really,
some literal clown dresses like a clown, goes out onto Highway 101 near Aromas and tries to hitchhike.
With a
oh my goodness!
As a dressed up
with
like
a
a
knife,
clown?
with a knife dripping with fake blood.
Oh my God!
Did anyone pick him up?
Yeah, someone picked him up.
Well, that was good of them.
The cops showed up, pulled out guns, made him get on his knees. You can see the video.
Well,
or at least the pictures.
I would suspect the cops would pick him up because isn't hitchhiking illegal?
They had to let him go, dude.
What?
They had to let him go because there's no law against it.
There's no law against dressing up like a clown, carrying a machete, and trying to hitchhike.
This is from KSBW.com. A clown holding a machete over his head on Highway 101 caused a flurry of 911 calls from frightened motorists Wednesday. The clown was wearing white and red face makeup and a colorful clown suit as he stood on the shoulder of Highway 101 next to the San Juan Road exit halfway between Prunedale and Aromas. 911 callers said the creepy clown was staring at drivers passing by. He stuck his thumb out with one hand as if though he were trying to hitchhike and held a machete covered in fake blood with the other hand. Deputies drew their guns as they pulled up to the bizarre scene and confronted the 6'2" 230-pound
That's just a tiny little
clown.
guy.
He's 61-year-old Larry Allen Tovey of Gilroy.
Larry Allen, what was the last name?
Tovey.
Tovey.
Deputies handcuffed the clown, questioned him, determined that he did not commit a crime. The machete was real, but the blood was fake.
Well,
How do
that's
we
good.
know that this wasn't just a clown on his way to like a kid's birthday party or something like that?
With a knife full of blood?
That could have been a prop. I don't know. Maybe he's going to turn it into a dove or something.
So unfortunate.
He got
what's
back into his
happened to
car and drove
clowns
away.
Now. I mean, the clown's gotten such
I
a bad rap these
I think it's great that
days.
somebody's keeping this
Didn't
alive,
that start
man.
with
'cause
Chucky?
we hadn't
Wasn't
heard one of these for a long
Chucky?
time.
Well,
Chucky
yeah, but
was like a
Chucky
little
was
doll.
like a little.
most of
wasn't
the
he kinda
cases,
clownish?
most of the
Kind of.
cases of crazy wild clowns that we heard about were, I think, in the South.
Right. Yeah, this is great. This brings attention
I think
to.
basically, yeah. Last summer there was sort of, I guess I wanted to say an epidemic. I mean, I really
Sure,
thought
you
that
could call it
crazy
that.
clowns were going to take over the world, but yeah, I mean, there was tons of reports of people seeing clowns, all over the U.S.
And listen, there's nothing going on in Aromas. This is great news for Aromas. Maybe they'll sell a few more beer, a
Yeah,
little
I
more
ju-
beer,
well,
a couple more packs of
you want-
cigarettes.
Yeah.
There's nothing going on
Well,
in
think about all
Aromas.
those poor. I was thinking about the children. I was thinking about children in the backs of cars looking out the window and seeing, you know, that could spook them out.
Maybe-
It's like
It's not illegal though. It's
they're
not
gonna
illegal.
need their
You could
blankie.
do it.
I think I know. Maybe there just wasn't enough room for this guy in the clown car.
He's so big.
He's the one that got left out.
Yeah, he was the one that couldn't fit. They fit 100 other clowns in there, and he was.
You can see the picture. There it is.
Oh,
Boy, that guy is creepy.
Yeah.
Get a life.
And
I mean,
they couldn't-
61 years old. Aren't you? Shouldn't you have something
They
better to
couldn't
do?
what I'm gonna
They
do
really
today.
couldn't arrest him for
Jeez.
this.
What are you gonna
No,
do
you-
today?
They couldn't even
Dave?
have like made up a charge or something. I mean, isn't that? I guess it's not public
For what?
endangerment,
Freaking
but
people out?
yeah, right.
Well, you would think for causing some kind of distraction on the side of the road or something. That's got to be illegal.
It's sort of menacing what he's doing, isn't it?
Yeah, I would say so. Menacing / fun, right?
Very odd.
That's very odd.
Strange hobbies.
Does he do
that
balloon
people
animals
have.
at least?
I don't know.
I
mean,
know, seriously, yeah.
it'd be one thing if
At
he,
least he could do.
did balloon animals and then sliced
Yeah.
them up with his bloody machete or something.
Can he juggle? That's a good question.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, did he have big shoes on too? Did
Does
he
he-
have the big old shoes?
Pull bloody
That's a good
cloths out of
question. Let's
his
see.
out of his
Yeah,
mouth or something.
exactly.
Let's see. No, he has regular shoes.
Ah,
He's not a real
see,
clown.
he
I
doesn't even
suspect
have his
he's. I suspect
shoes,
he's not a real
man.
clown.
You think he's just a 61-year-old named Larry Allen Tovey who's got nothing to do?
61 years old. You should know what. You should have something better to do, right?
This
I
is
don't
probably
think so. Look, you're. I know how old you are. Did you expect to be where you are right now? And do you think that you should have known better sometimes?
Well, you know, I
or-
don't know where.
I'm
you
not
never
meaning
know.
it bad or anything
No,
like that.
I understand that, but you
still
never
feel
know
like a
where
kid.
you never know where you're going to, right?
Yeah.
You never know where you're going to end up in life. But I would like to think that 16 years from now, I am not going to be dressing up like a clown, standing on the road trying to scare
One
people.
would hope.
But you never know.
But who knows?
Actually, you,
you
know
never
what?
do know.
You'll be like, I know what I'm going to
You
do.
do
today."
dress up like a wizard and run through the forest.
Yes, exactly. You'll do that instead.
You know what? Actually, I hope that I do have the sense of humor to do something like that at 61.
I don't
That's
think
funny.
this is a sense of humor, though.
You think he's really sick, or do you think he did it just?
I think he's trying to scare people.
I think he wants some
Yeah.
attention.
I think he's. No, I don't know.
He wants his 15 minutes of fame.
He got it.
I mean,
Yeah?
if he wanted
We're
just,
giving it to him right now.
if he wanted attention, if he wanted people to laugh, he could have dressed up like a clown.
The old firehouse is probably selling tri-tip steak sandwiches right now.
Yes. They're going to put a memorial there. This is where the clown stood.
Marshall's is probably selling some old-fashioned ground hamburger right now.
Seriously though, if he wanted
Those are
to
cool
just
stores, by the way.
catch people's attention, he could have just stood on the side of the road dressed as a clown, but he had a bloody machete. Like, that's obviously supposed to be ominous, is it not?
I would think so.
A blood-covered machete?
A real one, too.
Yeah, it wasn't even a fake machete.
Yeah, that's
Dude,
freaky.
I would have loved.
He had
when I
a
was,
real weapon
When
on
I
him.
was living out in
Freaky.
Aromas, I would have loved for this kind of action to be going on there. There is nothing going on in Aromas. nothing. And that's the charm of it. But it's also.
Well,
I mean,
I
it's,
would want
it's
action,
very,
but
very
I think
boring.
of a different
Very
kind.
boring.
maybe that's why this guy decided to go stand out there, because he was bored.
That's what I'm saying. It's fun. He tried to do something. Listen, if you're living in your whole life in Aromas till you were 61 years of age, you might be might go a little cuckoo too.
Seriously?
Anything for fun.
I
Anything
think-
for fun, yeah. There's nothing to do out there unless you ride a dirt bike. You can head down to the river and ride a dirt bike. But short of that, if you're not into that kind of stuff, there is
We're
absolutely
going to have to do a
nothing
field
to do
trip
in
to
Aromas.
Aromas, and we're going to find stuff.
It's
I think
beautiful.
this
though.
is an individual who went to clown college and got a degree, but realized that there wasn't too much he could do with his degree. So he sort of just in this sort of angst and despair about his life
He
right
came
now.
up, particularly since last summer with all the clowns, and then the clowns getting a bad rap. I mean, he came into
He didn't get in on the action.
and now the market's saturated with the 5 clowns that are allowed to still remain clowning.
Who are the 5
479
clowns?
1080.
I don't know.
Someone
I just know
today,
Ronald McDonald.
you guys, someone
No,
today.
but he's no longer doing his stuff either. Remember?
Yeah, they got rid of him, right?
Yeah,
because
that's my
because of the
point.
clowns.
Ooh,
That's right.
Right?
There
There's
is-
still the Ronald McDonald House and all that, the good stuff that they do. But the
there
clowns
is
themselves-
a new It movie coming out.
oh goody.
I think there's a new It movie coming out this summer, so maybe that's the obsession with clowns.
Let's see. Earlier this
It's
afternoon.
Stephen King, isn't it? Wasn't Stephen King the one with the? I remember seeing a clown in a gutter, like
That's
underneath.
yeah, that's
that
the one.
freaked
That's
me
the
out.
I think
That's
he
a
wrote the book,
great
right?
Movie, yes.
We should stop this. I'm getting all spooked. Next thing you talk about Salem's Lot.
Let's
and-
get to, that's another.
By the
great
way,
movie. That's another great-
hitchhiking is apparently legal, so
It is.
They couldn't have arrested him for that.
4791080 bomb threat called into Monterey High School, North Monterey High School.
Really?
Sounded
Yeah.
like a girl, according to authorities.
Well,
Around
I
1
don't-
p.m., CHP claimed someone called a bomb threat.
I wonder if this
Saying
was
there was a bomb on campus. Caller's voice sounded like a girl.
There was a girl. I don't know if we ever covered this story, but I think it was a 12-year-old girl in Salinas threatened to shoot up the school. I wonder if this is the same girl.
You know, that's not a thing that girls usually do. That's usually a thing that guys do, boys.
Well,
You know, there was a story this weekend from San Francisco about a substitute teacher that called in a bomb threat.
What?
really?
Yes. I think he was working at a daycare in the school or something like that, and he called in a bomb threat so that he wouldn't have to go into work.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Talk
And he
about
was
toxic
working
working environment,
Yeah,
huh?
holy cow.
Wow.
But he was working at a daycare, right? So like
Yeah.
little kids.
Yes.
Are they really that bad?
They're bad, right? There's some days
Well,
when
sometimes, like with schools,
You'd rather be watching
I have
prisoners
friends
than to
that-
be watching your
I
own
have friends
kids.
who are teachers, and sometimes the school can be a bad environment for a teacher, not just the children per se. Like
but
they
these were
add all
all
the stuff.
preschool kids, or,
Making
little elementary kids.
evil.
That's pretty
Yeah,
crazy.
can
This
be.
guy
You're
was
right.
a substitute teacher too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you'd think that he'd be happy to
He really
for the
didn't
chance
want
at
to go
work,
to
right?
Yeah.
I don't know. 4791080. Watch
They
out.
made, they made him take the Seabest.
If
It
you're a
wasn't his
substitute
fault.
teacher, can't you just say like, "Oh, I'm sick," or "No, I don't want the work," or something like that? I mean, you're not obligated to go, are you?
I really don't know. I really.
Well, you have to. I think you sign up for a certain amount of time when you take the Seabest, and then
So
you can only work so much. Actually, it's more that you can't work too much as a substitute teacher.
So he probably he signed up to fill in for, I don't know, like a week or so. Got 2 days into it and was like, "Oh my God, these kids! I can't stand them. I'm gonna literally, I can't deal with this anymore. I'm going to call a bomb threat on a bunch of little kids rather than go and, I don't know, stop them from picking their noses and."
Probably have nicknames like Satan
Yeah.
and Lucifer.
But
right?
remember, there's also those guys that get kidnapped so they can get away for the weekend. That reminds me of that too.
Right. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So
Oh my
let's chat real
God.
quick.
Who
because
do we got?
We got
Yeah, we have
Stephanie
a
in
call.
Santa Cruz.
Who?
Stephanie.
Stephanie in Santa Cruz, line 1. You're in the
Hello
air.
there. Hi. My topic is totally different. I just wanted to know if you guys know what's going on Mission Street. They have it blocked off at High Street, and they're having traffic go around the junior high on High Street instead of going straight on Mission. The police are there. The fire trucks are there.
I'm looking.
Okay, we're looking.
We're looking
We're on
and-
that right now. We'll have to probably wait till the other side of the news. We got about 3 minutes of news, and we'll let you know
We'll
what we
find
find
out what
out
we
on the
can
other
and
side.
let you know.
Thank you for your call, Stephanie. 4791080. I'm looking right now for CHP reports. She's set up on Mission, right? I don't
Yeah, and
see
I'm on
anything
Cruise
there.
511. I see lots of traffic, but I don't
Okay,
see any
we're gonna
signs.
break
But
for
we'll look
CBS
into
News.
it and see what we can find. Let you know.
Local news, traffic, and weather. I'm zooming in right now. We'll see what we can find out. We're going to hand it to Phil for local news, CBS News, traffic, weather, all that good stuff up next. KSEO Santa Cruz.
CBS News Update. Another strikeout for the president's travel ban. This time, the Fourth U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals is siding with civil rights groups who say the ban illegally targets Muslims. CBS News senior legal analyst Andrew Cohen.
The contrasting conclusions from the judges expressed in the majority and the dissenting opinions should be familiar to anyone who's been paying attention here. The 10 judges in the majority said that there was unconstitutional discrimination at the core of the travel bans, both of them, that could not withstand judicial scrutiny. The dissenters said that the motivations behind the bans were either unclear or irrelevant, and that judicial deference was warranted in cases like this, implicating national security and immigration.
Attorney General Jeff Sessions says the Justice Department will ask the Supreme Court to review today's ruling. Sessions says the president is not required to admit people from countries that sponsor or shelter terrorism until they can be properly vetted. CBS News Update. I'm Deborah Rodriguez.
You're listening to AM 1080 KSEO Santa Cruz. The time is 4:32. Headlines are up next. Here's Phil Deseth.
Thanks, Dave, and good afternoon, Central Coast. We have had reports of a fire up in Carmel Valley. It's about 4 miles up of Carmel Valley Road and about half mile up on one of the southern mountain tops. There is a lot of fire trucks activity up there, and one airplane. We weren't sure if it's a tanker or just a spotting plane. And a man who was arrested on Tuesday near the Capitola Mall was taken into Dominican Hospital for a mental health evaluation. He faces possible criminal charges that after he pointed a fake gun at several people while driving northbound on Highway 1 and doing the same thing on 41st Avenue in one of the parking lots at the Capitola Mall. And finally, the Scotts Valley Police Department is accepting a registration for their Junior Police Academy. Some of the things participants will learn is first aid, defensive tactics, and the history of law enforcement. There are 3 summer sessions to choose from, June, July, and August. For more information on the Junior Police Academy, contact the Scotts Valley Police Department. It's 4:33, time to get back to Flight 1080. I'm Phil Deseth for KSEO Radio.
You have cancer, and unless you take serious action immediately, you will be dead within 2 years. Devastating words that no one wants to hear ever. Well, my friend Bob heard those words recently, and as you can imagine, it turned his world upside down. Thoughts of losing body parts and body functions, having people treat him differently, the pall of depression, and even consideration of suicide are just some of the things that raced through his mind, until he grabbed hold of himself and decided to deal decisively with this problem. What he has learned in this process, he wants to share with everyone. All of us are touched by cancer every day, if not personally through experiences of friends and loved ones. Granted, the topic is not a happy one, but Bob's journey is worth chronicling. Starting with the next KSCO special this Saturday, 10 a.m. to 12 noon, right here on No Need to Be Alone Ever Radio, AM 1080 KSCO.
The Santa Cruz Art of Guitar exhibit and festival begins June 2nd with events scheduled through July 15th, celebrating the unique creativity of the many world-renowned guitar makers and players who make Santa Cruz County their home. For more information on the exhibits, concerts, and open studios, go to the website santacruzluthiers.org or call Maggie at 1-800-262-8858.
Wow, I'm standing outside the Staff of Life Natural Food Store watching shoppers buzz in and out like bees at their hive on a hot summer day. I'm wondering, what do all those shoppers find at Staff of Life they can't find at the big box store? Let's ask.
Tom, I've been shopping at Staff of Life since they first opened. It's always good prices, good selection. You always see people you know, like you.
Hi, my name's Kalila. They're wonderful people, and I like to give my business to the people in my community. They have a good meat department. They have a great produce department. I mean, you can't find anything like this. It's for me that it's very satisfying to shop here.
Sharon, Santa Cruz. Staff of Life has the best food. I get fresh everything I need. They have a lot of things I can't find anywhere else.
Think local first and eat local first by shopping a genuine Santa Cruz tradition. the original, locally owned Staff of Life natural food store at 1266 SoCal Avenue in Santa Cruz. If you can't find it at Staff of Life, maybe you don't want to find it.
I'm Rob Watson from Out in Santa Cruz. Join me Saturdays at 7 p.m. as I bring you the hottest equality stories locally and from around the globe. I bring you fun, fabulousness, and I don't shy away from controversy. Join me as I take you over the equality rainbow right here on Out in Santa Cruz, Saturdays at 7.
This portion of programming brought to you in part by Dignity Health, including Dignity Health Medical Group Dominican and Dominican Hospital. This open enrollment, choose a plan that includes Dignity Health. For more information, visit DominicanOpenEnrollment.org. Dignity Health. Hello, human kindness.
You're listening to KSCO, serving Tres Pinos, Boulder Creek, and Delray Oaks.
.1080 with your traffic reports. As far as traffic goes, Highway 1 southbound stop and go at 41st Avenue. Monterey into Seaside 10 miles per hour. Stop and go traffic southbound 101 crossing over Coyote Creek. Highway 17 Campbell into Los Gatos 10 miles per hour. We did find out what was happening up on Mission.
Yeah, we had a caller. He was on the road on 17, and he said he drove by the accident on Mission, and apparently a minivan ran into the sidewalk and hit a pole. I hope nobody was injured right in front of the junior high school. So
I don't
that's
see
what's
anything
and I haven't
listed
found
here.
it either, but he was a witness.
All
He
right.
drove right by it. So
Okay.
Are we
4791080.
gonna doubt our listeners now?
No.
I thought not.
Thought
They're always
not.
right.
Well, I wouldn't go that far.
4791080. Okay, let's get through these local
Just like
stories.
I'm always right, Ben?
We'll see what
Oh, yeah.
sticks.
We're always
Yeah,
right.
and Dave is always right.
Huh?
Yeah, you're always right.
Sure, why not?
Yeah, sure, Ben.
Salinas
I'm
police
right.
are going to be on the lookout for DUI drivers as well as people without seatbelts this weekend, so be on the lookout.
Wow,
Many of the
double
officers
whammy.
out there are not looking just for people drinking, Ben. They're also looking for people on drugs, Drea. Pot,
Really?
prescription medication, anything that impairs your ability to drive. Cops trained to deal with that kind of stuff will be looking for you.
How could they tell if someone was on like cocaine or something?
Because they talk really fast and they really like, listen, I am king of the world and I can beat you and I'm going to be one and I'm going to win. And I don't know why my nose is bleeding, but it's okay. Sorry, I should. I'm going off today. I'm a little weird.
That was good. I like that.
That was pretty good. Yeah, that's.
But that would be after they pulled the person over. How could you tell someone's on cocaine from their driving? Just because I don't know they're speeding.
Well, you know, the
or
guy says the officer says, you know, a lot of people think that people on pot drive slower. He says that's not the case. A lot of times they're so stoned they're not even paying attention to the speed limit and they're just flying right through. So
That's
you know,
true. Also,
speed variation, I
sometimes
guess.
they're stoned and they're not paying attention to the speed limit and they're just cruising along at like 30.
Yeah, I don't know.
And driving too slowly is very, very, very dangerous.
That can be dangerous,
It
yeah.
actually
Definitely.
is one of the main causes for accidents is people driving too slowly on freeways and things
Hey,
like
we're
that.
talking to you out there.
Yeah, you. Put your blinker on.
Yeah,
Put
and
your blinker.
use your damn blinker too.
Speak car. You got
Driving
one
too
car
slow
language.
is also a huge cause of traffic.
True. And when you have the lane merging, right, you have two lanes turning into one lane, it is scientifically proven best to utilize both lanes to the absolute max and just let the zipper thing go. Otherwise, it slows things
I've heard
down.
that before. Basically, you merge at the last possible
Yeah,
second.
you use the whole road because you're utilizing the space that you have. It's not being a jerk. There are times where you are being a jerk where you just want to go around people. That's different. But actually, when you have two lanes going into one lane,
When you drive along the shoulder for like
They've
a
done-
mile before you actually merge.
yeah, that's not what I'm talking about. They've done experiments, and it's been proven that it's much more efficient and faster.
Okay.
Ha-ha.
All right.
So-
4791080. Be on the lookout for these guys.
Ooh, who?
The guys on our Facebook page.
Oh, this
stealing from an Apple
couple?
store. Yeah.
I think they stole 4 credit cards, didn't they?
What?
Yeah.
Well, this video is them hanging out at an Apple store, And
I think that might have been them purchasing goods with the stolen credit cards.
Oh, see? You have to be on our Facebook page to see these guys. The Monterey County Sheriff's Office is asking for the public's help to identify a man and a woman who were recorded on surveillance cameras inside a Monterey Apple electronics store. This is from KSBW.com, by the way.
We could paint you a verbal picture.
Yes.
I mean, we are radio people. That's what we're paid to do. But it's a lot easier if you just go to the Facebook page.
Well, this female, she has long hair, and the guy doesn't.
He's got a baseball cap on.
He's got a baseball cap
They look
on.
like
Very
they're in their
descriptive.
20s.
Yeah.
Somewhere, maybe early 30s.
Light complexion.
Yes, light complexion.
Oh, you're going to put this on my generation.
She has,
I say they look like they're in their 40s, so.
Her hair's a little frosted and highlighted, right?
Right.
Yeah. They spent, did you see how much money? Bought
No.
about how much?
Holy cow.
$17,000 worth of laptops.
$17,000.
You know what? Okay, so here's a shout out to somebody at the Food Max store in Watsonville. She saw somebody purchasing a whole bunch of laundry detergent, right? I mean, like an insane amount, and was going to pay for it with a credit card. And she said, this is not right. People with legitimate credit cards, they don't go and buy stuff like that.
I'm a little bit surprised that they let him get away with this at the Apple Store.
So am I, because they wouldn't let you get away with it at Food Max.
Yeah, who buys $17,000 worth of laptops at once?
I don't know. They wouldn't even let this woman buy her detergent. Right? I mean,
Wow.
she was on it. She said, that's not normal. Said, go bring your ID. And she never came back
And
to
you
the
know
store.
what? Now that I think about it, aren't the employees at the Apple Store, aren't they called the geniuses?
They are.
Not too smart there,
They
buddies.
couldn't figure this one out?
Yeah, over $17,000.
Oh, yeah.
At the same
I'd
time,
like to
don't
buy
they have to,
17
don't they ask for an
laptops.
ID with that? I mean, I know
Usually-
sometimes you don't ask
usually,
for an
yes.
ID, but when it's
For
over
a
a certain amount of money,
$17,000
yeah, you would
purchase,
think
you would
that
hope
would
so.
have been done.
Wow. Wow. Okay, there you go.
Do they get fake IDs too, or?
Point Lobos' new Crown Jewel or Old Crown Jewel hiking trail has been reopened.
Wait, one last detail about
Yes,
this
yes.
case.
Go ahead.
I'm not sure, but they stole 4 credit cards.
Mm-hmm.
Did they use all 4 credit cards at once?
This is
'Cause,
last month.
I
It
think
looks
that
like
I
this
think
was
that would
over a
raise
period
too
of
many red
time.
flags to do that, right?
They come in, they buy $17,000 worth of laptops, use 4 stolen credit cards, don't give ID.
How many laptops
I
would
hope
that
that's
be?
not the case.
I mean, Apple products are pretty expensive. How many laptops would that be, do you think? 12?
17 probably. Yeah, 12 or 17.
Yeah, between 12 and 17, right? Laptops.
Well, they
'Cause I
go
know
between
the
MacBook
Microsoft
Pro
is like
and stuff like
12
that,
or
or
13.
$1,500 sometimes.
Right.
I mean,
So-
but those are the smaller ones. You get yourself a nice 19-inch or 17-inch, whatever, with this and that, and
$2,000?
doohickeys, and yeah, easily.
It looks like they stole.
You can
or-
spend money at an Apple store pretty easily. It's not hard.
Wow.
Yeah, so it doesn't look like,
Sounds like
they
fun.
If you have it, yeah.
they spent $10,000 on laptops at the Apple Store in the Del Monte Shopping Center.
Mhm.
Looks like they charged the credit cards were also used to make purchases at the Best Buy store in Marina
Mhm.
and a Target store in Sand City.
So they shook it up.
Cow.
In total, they spent $17,753, primarily on MacBook Pro computers.
Mm-hmm.
That's the
That
good
was
stuff.
$10,000 worth of laptops.
That's the good stuff. Well, thank you for
Honey, what would you
going back to
like
that.
for your birthday? Oh, let's go to.
Yeah, let's
go
go.
steal some credit cards and go shopping.
And
Where would you go shopping? Where
the KSBW
Where would I go
story.
shopping?
Yeah, if you had an unlimited credit card. Not a stolen credit card, because you would never do that. But let's just say you had a credit card that you didn't have to pay back. Where would you go?
You could go to one store.
Yeah, go to one store.
Amazon.
It's not a store. That's a good one though.
I don't know.
I would go to Mountain Mike's
Yeah, and get myself
and
a
I'd
pizza.
buy the all-you-can-eat deal.
Because it's Thursday.
Let's see what deal they have there today. It is Thursday, right?
$5 off.
Is it $5 off?
Wednesday was all-you-can-eat, so yeah,
And
it must
Tuesday.
$5
be
off.
$5 off or
Any large
20%
pizza.
off, right?
Any large.
$5 off.
40 actually.
Or
40% off?
That's on Mondays and Tuesdays only.
Really?
Today,
Yeah.
yes.
I didn't realize it was
But
that
we
good of a
s-
deal.
forget what we said.
Yeah, no, we're confusing
yeah,
people
No,
with
today's
deals.
Thursday.
$5 off is a
$5
deal.
off.
3715 Portola Drive. Their phone number is 477-7760. And I recommend, even though I like the Billy Sunshine, the combination is really good too.
Yeah,
I like
treat
pizzas with
yourself.
stuff on
You
it,
know,
yeah.
you deserve more than just bacon and pepperoni, even though those are a great combination.
Yeah, give yourself some anchovies.
Sea Lion Point Trail is the
have
name of
to
the
say.
trail.
I just want to say really quickly about this stolen credit cards. There's on the story, on the KSBW story, they have a sort of closer up picture. What it looks like to me, honestly, is it looks like a mother and her son.
It could be.
Yeah, it kind of does. And
Like-
that man has no face right next to it. Did you notice that? He's just got like a big black circle.
I'm assuming
He's got
that
no
is someone who was not involved in stealing things, and
some
they're
sort
not.
of portal opened up right above his
Oh my
head.
goodness.
I don't know.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, I think that is the real mystery. Forget these guys with their stolen
who is
credit
that
card.
guy?
Who
Who's
is
the
the guy
black
with
dot?
the giant black hole for a face?
Yes.
4791080
I find
if you
it
can answer that
mesmerizing.
question. Sea Lion Point Trail, that's the name of the trail that has been reopened at Point Lobos. Beautiful trail. As a matter, you know what, dude? The nice thing about this trail, lots of people out there are going, oh, yeah, big deal, Dave. The trail opens up, right? Well, this is a trail specifically designed, I don't know specifically, but it certainly allows access for people in wheelchairs
Oh,
to
excellent.
go for hikes, right? And it's not just you're going through the scrub brush and coyote brush and the bum sites, the homeless encampments. You're going along some of the most beautiful views that you can imagine, and you can get to.
Do you
it
need
on
like
your
a special wheelchair, like
no,
an off-road
man, no,
wheelchair?
It's perfectly flat.
Really?
The trails are nice and wide. It's just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Even and especially if you have feet and you can walk around, you're perfectly abled. It's a beautiful trail. But
I mean, if you can push a wheelchair along it, then even if you're someone who has a hard time hiking, you don't want to hike too far, this must be an easy trail for you, right?
It's super easy. I mean, it is flat. It is level. It is a super easy trail. I mean, it is custom made for anybody in a wheelchair. If you are in that position, you're in a wheelchair, but you still want to go for a nice hike, go to Point Lobos. I think it's $8 to get in. You can park pretty darn close to it. As a matter of fact, you can park right up to that trail and just go for a nice trail along just beautiful, beautiful cliffs. I mean, just absolutely beautiful, crystal clear water, lots of birds. It's just beautiful.
I assume you also see sea lions.
Sea lions too, yeah, I guess, but
Since
whatever.
it's
Doesn't have to be the
sea
right
lions.
place.
Sea lions
Point
kill.
Trail.
Sea lions kill. If you didn't notice, you remember that video, right?
Which one?
That aggressive sea lion.
Which one?
The one that
You
pulled
didn't
that
see
little
that?
girl into the water.
No. When was
Oh
this?
my
No.
goodness.
I don't.
Wow.
I'm not always up to speed on stuff.
I think it happened over the weekend, and it was a family up in, I think, British Columbia.
Mm-hmm.
And
wow.
it was this little 6-year-old girl, and there was like a family. They were trying to feed the sea lion, and she sits down on the edge of this pier. The sea lion comes up, grabs her by the dress, and just yanks her into the water.
Wow.
You didn't see that?
No.
It's
Wow,
pretty
you
shocking.
should watch that.
Oh, is she's okay?
Yeah, she ended up being
She
fine.
has a phobia against all sea mammals.
I would.
I would think that would.
She's never going near the ocean again.
Yeah.
Dude, you want to see some really cool footage? Go to our Facebook page. Did you see the footage I posted of an octopus chasing a crab?
I did see that, man. That's cool.
Wow, that is bizarre.
It looks like the octopus is just like
octopi
playing
are
with it.
very, very smart.
They're very smart.
Very, very, very smart.
This
and
poor
clever
crab had
and-
no chance at all. He tries though. He
Oh,
tries
yeah.
and tries. It is.
I didn't even realize crabs could swim like that.
I didn't either.
I don't
It's
think that
pretty
crab
fast.
knew it could swim like that.
That is just amazing video.
It's gone. Oh, that's a cool video.
Yeah, it is. It's
So
amazing.
we're on the
vi-
air.
I
We're
don't know.
talking on the radio.
Oh,
about
that's right. I
videos.
forgot. Check it out on our
Dave,
Facebook
we got to
page.
work on this.
Who's on line one?
What's on second? Liberty in Monterey.
Liberty, Monterey. You're in the air.
Hey, good afternoon. You mentioned this early on when you came on the air, and I don't know if you want to go back to it, but it sparked something in me about traffic.
Mm-hmm.
And I got a question. I see this all the time. Say you're going south on Graham Hill Road, and there's an entrance lane going up to Highway 1 just before the bridge going over the river there, just before River Street. And people, I'm going along Highway 1, and I will leave a large gap, like 2 or 3 car lengths, for people to merge, to come over from the entry lane. And I don't understand why people will wait until the very, very last minute when I'm leaving plenty of room for them to pull over. And they will wait until the last minute and then stop waiting for somebody to let them in.
Yeah, that's
Am I
odd.
crazy?
But that's
or
odd,
are
yeah.
they...
Well, you might be crazy, Liberty, but that doesn't mean that they're not
Yeah.
idiots. Those guys don't know how to drive.
Well, it's different. That's not the classic lane ending merge. That's the classic I got to get over merge, right? Or I don't want to be in this lane merge.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know, but it seemed like it'd go smoother. People saw,
You know what, Liberty?
jump in it.
You know, and when that happens to me, I remember
Exactly,
thinking
yeah.
the same thing and wondering why are they not moving into the lane? And I think it's maybe because they don't trust their depth perception. Maybe they don't trust that they're not going to hit me. They don't trust that I've left them enough room. That's the only thing I can come up with too, because I'm leaving you a space. Get in the damn space.
Do you know what I say to those drivers
Thank you
when
for
I'm
your call,
driving?
Liberty. I don't get it either.
What I say to them when I'm driving?
What?
I say, "What are you waiting for? A written invitation?"
I say something else.
I'm like, come on, man! I'm leaving you all this space.
I
Move
can't
over.
say it on the air.
Do you want to be behind that truck forever, ever?
479-1080. The Amberjacks is Monterey's semi-professional baseball team.
Yeah, minor league team.
Minor league. It's professional baseball, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
They'll be taking the field for the first time against the
They
Bakerfield
are
Train
athletes
Robbers.
that get paid to play baseball.
And then they're professional.
Is that a good name? The Bakersfield Train Robbers?
The Train Robbers?
Yeah.
For a minor league team, yeah, that's a great name.
Do they wear little masks and stuff? You know,
Remember,
like Luke kind of thing.
That might be difficult to hit a baseball wearing a mask.
They're playing their first game in Monterey June 3rd. They're looking for a place for their players to live. I don't understand what this means, Ben.
Yeah.
So as they travel around from city to city, they need a place for their players to live, and that's what they're looking for?
Yeah, they don't make a lot of money.
Are they looking for Monterey players?
I think they were looking for host families. Actually, we have Patrick here.
I forgot. I keep
but
answering
I
that.
think they, the original story, they were looking for host families to put up some of these players.
Don't they live here?
Yeah, exactly. They're looking for host families here in Monterey.
For the
put up
players.
the players.
But the players already live here.
No, these are
no.
players that are moving here. I mean, this team just moved here. So I think most of the players aren't from here.
Okay. So I'm confused. So this is like a real baseball team where they take players from this part of the country and that part of the country, and
professional players. Yeah.
I mean, because I was under the impression that these were all locals. These were all the best of our locals playing.
I
on
think
this
they
team.
held local tryouts, and they invited people or local athletes to try out and join the team. I don't know if there's any locals on the team, but there were other players, and I remember in the original story, part of what they were looking for were host families here in Monterey.
Oh, yeah, you're right. It goes on to say here, I guess it's the coach saying that his team hails from all over the map. One player's from New Jersey, another's from Illinois, South Carolina, Pennsylvania, Texas.
Yeah, I mean, these are mostly young guys who are trying to make it into the majors.
All right, so here's the part where I sound like an ass.
You?
Yeah. Shouldn't they get a job or do something else?
They're professional baseball players, but I've heard
Well,
programs
get a
about
job that pays you enough to live.
I wouldn't be
But
surprised if
being
a lot of them.
being a lower league baseball player it's not a living wage. It really isn't a living wage.
You make
And
nothing.
particularly in Monterey, you make very little money. It's true. They get
So-
totally exploited because they love the game.
I wouldn't be
Yeah.
surprised if some of them do work side jobs. Of course, they had to move to Monterey, so they all have
Yeah.
to find new jobs here.
And it's
if they
expensive
do
in
work side
Monterey.
jobs. But that's part of it. That's why they're looking for host families to support them and things like that.
Okay, so are these guys actually trying to make it into the big leagues? This is
Yes.
what they're trying to do? This is
Yes.
not a hobby for them?
Yeah, and they're sacrificing
oh,
now.
Man. Dude, I hope they don't have families.
For the love of the game, Dave.
Oh,
it's
jeez,
for the love of
for the love of your
game.
family, get something that earns a living.
Well,
Holy cow.
I mean, I don't think we're talking about guys like you out there. I mean, these are like 20-year-olds.
What's that supposed to mean, Ben? I'm in great shape.
You have 2 children and you're in your 40s.
Oh, that's what he's talking about. I thought
Is that what you meant, Ben?
Next story.
Maybe.
Did I wrap it up nicely for you,
you wrapped
Dave?
it all up nice
There you
and
go.
bow wrapped and everything, bow tied. Who's on line 1?
What's on
Rick.
second?
Rick in Oakdale, thank you for your call. You're in the air.
Hey, I got the answer for Liberty
Okay.
on the why. The fear of gaining something is greater, the fear of losing something is greater than the fear of gaining something. What the people do is they have the opening, so they could gain getting in. But they don't want to give up that spot because they know the guy right behind him is going to go right ahead of him and try to get in front of him. So it's we're psychos when we get in the car. we just completely metamorphose into different. We're not even human when we're in cars.
You know, I think you're right, Rick. Because I know I do some bad
There
things.
is a sense of
honk the horn,
competition
beep, beep, beep.
sometimes, and sense of competition. I'm not going to let you in, that kind of thing,
Yeah.
or
Well, it's just like we think that we're invisible. Because I pulled up to a guy in a beautiful, beautiful red Porsche, and he was over this just grinding on one. He thought he was invisible, like I couldn't see him picking his nose. So we're just a bunch of booger-eating morons when we get in the car. I'll tell you.
Yeah, I've seen some of those guys too, Rick. Thank you for the
You can
visuals.
pick your friends and you can pick your nose, but you can't pick your friend's nose.
That guy should have known better than to be doing that in a Porsche, right? If you're in a nice
have
car,
some class.
people are going to be looking at you, right?
Have some class.
It depends on the car. Oh, you mean because he's in a Porsche?
Yeah, if you're in like a nice fancy car, people are more likely to look at your car.
I tend to
people
not
are more
look
likely
at those
to.
cars.
Really?
I get rebellious.
Really?
Yeah, I won't even.
I mean,
like
I
if
like
I hear
those
that kind of
cars.
engine, I look to the right.
Oh, I love the new
wherever they're at.
Jaguars. I love those cars.
Really?
The new Ford Expeditions or Ford Explorers, the ones that the CHP drives and all the police departments drive. Those are beautiful trucks, man. Those are Fords, and the new Jaguars are just, wow, unbelievable.
I can't even remember the last Jaguar that came out that I liked.
Oh, the
but
new
I'm
ones.
not a big car guy.
Yeah, right. But
Me
the old Jaguars are up until recently. The Jaguars had this kind of.
I always thought Jaguars were some of the ugliest cars, except for like the
dude,
old ones.
Some of the ugliest cars ever invented were Jaguars. I agree with you. But now, dude, the new 2017s, I guess, the ones that I see driving around now, the new ones with the new dealer plates, absolutely beautiful. They don't have that rounded look on the hood, around the headlights. That was so lame, ugly, ugly. Get that out of here. But the new ones, dude, beautiful, beautiful cars.
When I was a kid, a friend of mine's father had a Jag, and he really did like himself some Armor All. And so you'd get into that thing, you feel like you were sliding all over the place, right? You're like, woo! It was fun.
I just like the way British people say it. Jaguar.
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 I think that's probably a better way
Jaguar.
to how?
I don't.
They
Jaguar.
go Jaguar.
Jaguar. They dropped the R.
Oh, British people drop the R at the end of everything.
Unless you put an A at the end of it, like Toyota, they'll say Toyota.
No, I think that's rednecks.
Toyota. I'm driving myself a Toyota.
4791080.
Yeah, if you want to do a British accent, you have to put all the sound to the front of your mouth, right to the
What do you
tip of
mean?
your lips. That's where the sound is. If you play around with that, it can be kind of fun. If you try to do accents and you realize where they are in your mouth, they're actually in different places. It's kind of fun. Yeah, it's true.
218-5726. Nizine Marks also has a handicap accessible trail below the steel bridge to the left of the fire road.
That's good to know.
Yeah, I guess. But that's not like the one at Point Lobos. The one at Point Lobos is just absolutely wide, flat, level. I mean, yeah, you're right about that.
You're correct.
You're
Dave's
correct.
correct, and Ben's correct, and I'm correct.
We're all correct.
We're all correct. Everybody out there, you guys are all right. You're
Jose
all correct.
Castaneda was
He's not
hauled off to
correct.
jail. I saw the video this morning on KSBW.
Yeah.
They took his butt to jail.
Where he
Straight after the
belongs.
sentencing, right?
Yes, right after the sentence, right after they found him guilty, he went to jail. Now he just has to wait to find out how long he's going to get. He's looking at
9 years.
8 months, 9 years to 8 months. What? He's
What?
facing 9 years, 8 months.
9 years, 8. Okay.
Wow,
I was
dude.
going to say 9 years to 8 months.
Well,
that's
he
a
took
big
his
how you sentence
ex-girlfriend,
people.
got her in the car, drove her somewhere, and beat her up.
Oh man.
Yeah,
And
I
then
say
now
you
what?
deserve 9 years for
When,
that.
when she didn't give him her password to her phone and social media, he beat her up again. Threw her in the back seat and kept. This guy's accused of. Well, he's been convicted. The guy's a real dirtbag.
Yes, yeah,
Real
absolutely.
dirtbag. He's been convicted by
Apparently,
by his peers.
his lawyer is going to file a motion for a new trial.
Oh, never mind. Then he's not a dirtbag. He's an alleged dirtbag.
Well,
No,
I
no,
think,
no, he's
I
been
think he has to
convicted.
have his motion granted
He's
before
been
he's
He's
alleged.
been convicted.
Yeah, he's convicted.
He's convicted. You can call him and you
No,
can
then
go
if
If the
ahead.
motion for a new trial is granted, though, he's back to being alleged.
He's a woman.
Then I'll just keep my opinions to myself then. 4791080. That treatment at Pinot Lake last year, they dumped a whole bunch of, alum in the lake to try to deal with the pollution. Seems to have worked. It's going to take about 3 or 4 more treatments, though. We'll keep you posted on that. Keeping Pinot Lake clean is the target. That's the goal.
Did they ever get rid of that mystery island that like popped up?
Yeah, it's gone, dude. I don't know where it went. It must have...
Did it disappear?
It disappeared. It must have gone on to another planet, maybe?
Maybe it's
Parallel
another
universe. Yeah, it travels. It's a
another
traveling
lake.
island.
4791080. KSEO Santa Cruz. We got some good stuff here, boy. We got some really good stuff.
Right on.
We got what's that guy's name? Gianforte, that guy from Montana who slammed the reporter. Choke slammed him.
Oh, the GOP
I want to talk about that. I want
candidate?
to talk about Ben Carson. I want to talk about all kinds of stuff. We got some good stuff coming up. We got the local news out of the way. KSEO Santa Cruz.
Travel ban. CBS's Jeff Pegues on today's ruling.
The president's executive order would have temporarily suspended visas from Iran, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, Syria, and Yemen. The decision from the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals keeps it from going into effect. Writing for the majority, Chief Judge Roger Gregory wrote, Mr. Trump's order speaks with vague words of national security, but in context drips with religious intolerance, animus and discrimination.
Attorney General Jeff Sessions says the Justice Department will ask the Supreme Court to review the ruling. Before he left a NATO meeting in Brussels, President Trump put pressure on member countries to pay their fair share for defense.
This is not fair to the people and taxpayers of the United States.
The president says 23 of 28 nations aren't paying the agreed-upon 2% of GDP and owe massive amounts of money from previous years. The president has flown on to Sicily for his first G7 summit. After getting unspecified assurances, a British official says police there are once again sharing intelligence with the U.S. after the suicide bombing at a concert in Manchester that killed 22 people. Previous information was leaked and published in the New York Times. For now, CBS's Larry Miller says the U.K. is bracing for the possibility of more terror.
All 27 major trauma centers in England have been told to prepare staff for a potential terror attack ahead of this three-day holiday weekend, along with soldiers guarding places of high risk. For the first time ever, armed police will be patrolling British trains and heading to Manchester, an Israeli team of trauma counselors to help people suffering psychologically after the attack. The Israelis will also train around 30 psychologists and how to deal with people emotionally scarred by terrorism. Larry Miller, CBS News, London.
CBS News has learned the president's son-in-law has been under scrutiny in the investigation into Russian interference in the election. Jared Kushner met with Russian Ambassador Sergei Kislyak in December, and sources say at Kislyak's urging also agreed to meet with the head of a state-owned Russian bank. 21 people indicted in a national sex trafficking and money laundering ring.
According to a superseding indictment, hundreds of victims since 2009 were lured with the promise of a better life in the U.S. U.S. Attorney Greg Brooker says that was far from the case.
These victims were denied freedom of movement. They were lied to. They were threatened with violence, and they were forced to have sex with strangers, even if the men were abusive.
The defendants, including 11 U.S. citizens, were arrested and charged with various counts of sex trafficking and money laundering. 17 people were indicted in October as part of the same investigation. Sloan Martin, CBS News, Minneapolis.
Dow closed up 70. This is CBS News.
Does your basement or crawl space have damp, musty odors? Do you worry about indoor gases and pollutants? Everyday living generates moisture that can nourish mold and odors, even asthmatic triggers. Indoor pollutants linked to respiratory ailments, birth defects, and cancers can become trapped in your home. You can't buy health, but you can buy Wave's moisture control and air quality products. Wave Home Solutions for a dry, healthy home. Satisfaction guaranteed. Go to dryhome123.com. That's dryhome123.com.
Here is the inventor of Texas Superfood, Dennis Black.
Great health comes from nature, and that's what's in Texas Superfood. Nature's antioxidant-rich vitamins and minerals from 55 vine-ripened fruits and vegetables. So here's my health promise to you. Switch from your chemistry set vitamins to Texas Superfood for 90 days. Experience increased energy, more focus, and better sleep, or return it. No questions asked.
Now, when you order 2 bottles of Texas Superfood, get the 3rd bottle free. 877-55-TEXAS. You can also order online at texassuperfood.com.
Microsoft's going after hackers. CBS's Jason Brooks.
The recent ransomware attack has sparked renewed interest in cybersecurity firms, and Microsoft is making a big bet on a cloud-based system. Microsoft is buying Boston-based Hexadite for $100 million. Hexadite, which develops its technology in Israel, is different than most standalone security offerings in that its cloud-based platform links up with existing security tools to try and quickly target and remove threats as they appear. Microsoft announced earlier this year it would spend $1 billion in 2017 on cybersecurity research and development.
It's called dark tourism.
Black hole sun.
The Detroit Free Press reports Soundgarden fans have been harassing hotel staffers trying to book the room where Chris Cornell died. Police say the rock star hanged himself in room 1136 of the MGM Grand in Detroit last week. Private funeral service is tomorrow in L.A. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
Wouldn't it be great if you could stop crime before it happens? With the Ring Floodlight Cam, you can. I'm Jamie Siminoff, inventor and founder of Ring. Floodlight Cam is a motion-activated HD security camera that connects right to your phone, so you're alerted when anyone steps onto your property. You can now see, speak, or even sound an alarm right from your phone, anywhere, anytime. Does your floodlight prevent crime? Ours does. Go to ring.com/advantage and save $150 off of a Ring of Security kit. That's ring.com/advantage.
finding great people to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. It's time to try ZipRecruiter, where 80% of jobs get a qualified candidate in just one day. How? Using powerful technology, ZipRecruiter matches your job to the right candidates fast. So, while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, only ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/talk for your free trial. ZipRecruiter.com/talk.
KSEO drive time now 5:06. You're listening to KSEO Santa Cruz 104.1 FM. Broadcasting worldwide at KSEO.com, ZBSradio.com. Moving on to traffic. Highway 1 southbound to stop and go at 41st Avenue. Let's see what else we can find out here. Highway 1 northbound up Mission Street is slow moving until you make it past Laurel. Their speeds will pick up. Highway 17, slow moving as you head into Los Gatos, about 10 miles per hour there. Back to the limit, though, pretty quickly once you make it through that area. Stop and go here in Santa Cruz from the Fishhook to Aptos. Moss Landing, both directions under 10 miles per hour near the harbor. Southbound 101, stop and go as you cross over Coyote Creek. The time is now 5:07. Phil just passed along details. Are you going to pass along those details in the next newscast, Phil? Yeah, okay. We'll let him handle that as far as that fire down in Carmel Valley. It seems like they got a pretty good handle on it, so don't freak out. Phil will fill you in with details in just a minute here. Your weather forecast for tonight: patchy drizzle, patchy fog, cloudy conditions. Lows should be around 52 degrees. Tomorrow, gradually becoming sunny. Highs will be around 65 degrees. Your boaters forecast for tonight includes a small craft advisory. West winds 15 to 25 knots, decreasing to 5 to 15 knots after midnight. Wind waves 3 to 5 feet, and west swells 3 feet at 10 seconds. 5:07 is the time. Headlines are coming up next. They are being brought to you by Dignity Health, Dominican Hospital, and Dignity Health Medical Group Dominican. They're more than just a hospital and a medical group. They're part of this community. Visit dignityhealth.org/Dominican to find a doctor and start living healthy today. Dignity Health. Hello, human kindness. The time is now 5:08. We're moving on to headlines. Phil Deseth is standing by with those, so we're going to get out of the way and let him do it. KSEO.com, ZBSradio.com. The app for your phone is now available, so download it tonight. Here's Phil.
Thanks, Dave, and good afternoon, everyone. CAL FIRE is now working to contain a small blaze in Carmel Valley. The Saddle Mountain fire broke out near Schultz Road sometime before 4 p.m. At this time, because of the remote nature of the fire, CAL FIRE crews are being assisted by 2 inmate crews, a bulldozer, a helicopter, and 2 air tankers, also 5 engines. Traffic on Carmel Valley Road is being affected. The cause of the fire is unknown at this time. And former Salinas City Councilman Jose Castaneda was found guilty yesterday of domestic violence. Castaneda is accused of stalking, kidnapping, sexual battery, and inflicting corporal injury. The jury deadlocked on the sexual battery charge. Castaneda faces a maximum sentence of 9 years and 8 months in prison. He is scheduled to be sentenced on June 22nd. And the body of a man found Monday in Aptos Creek has been identified as 46-year-old Stephen Rawls. Rawls was last heard from on May 2nd, although his cause of death has not yet been determined. No foul play is suspected. And a woman was arrested yesterday morning in Salinas. Maria Alvarez is believed to be involved with a drug smuggling operation in the Monterey County Jail. Alvarez joins 4 other people who have already been booked into Monterey County Jail on smuggling charges. Additionally, Alvarez faces charges of child endangerment. A 30-year-old Monterey County Jail inmate has been found guilty of battering another inmate. Corey John Lee Lanite is said to have led 4 other inmates in an attack last month. The other 4 have all pled guilty to taking part in the attack. And the Monterey County Sheriff's Office is now seeking the public's help in identifying 2 people they believe may have been involved in stealing credit cards. Tavia Avila has more on that story.
The 4 cards were stolen last month out of a vehicle. The stolen cards were used to purchase a MacBook Pro at the Del Monte Apple Store in Monterey. The cards were also used at the Best Buy in Marina and Target in Sand City. Authorities believe a man and a woman caught on surveillance video may be involved, but have not been identified. A picture of the two can be seen on the Monterey County Sheriff's Office Facebook page. Anyone with information is encouraged to contact authorities. This is Tavia Avila for KSCO Radio News.
And after a 4-month restoration, a well-known trail at Point Lobo State Natural Reserve has been reopened. Susan Simon has that story.
The Sea Lion Point Trail suffered severe erosion during the winter storms, and members of the California Conservation Corps have been fixing the trails so that they now have a firmer, flatter surface and better drainage, which means better access for people with limited mobility, and all in time for the Memorial Day weekend. The 3/4-mile trail is now ADA compliant. For KSCO, this is Susan Simon.
And over the next 7 years, pension costs are expected to increase in many cities, some by 50%. Assemblyman Bill Breaux says we need pension reform and introduced the California Pension Protection Act of 2017.
If we're going to save our pension system, we're in need of some serious reform. Our option, we think we put people in charge, people over politicians like me. Give the voters the approval, not pension boards, to approve pension plans. And we got to protect existing pensions.
ACA 15 will require 2/3 voter approval to establish new pension plans. And finally, Memorial Day is coming up, and KSCO spoke with California Highway Patrol Officer Stephen Tengay about some of the recent statistics involving drunk driving.
The law and common sense make it absolutely clear that driving any vehicle, including recreational vehicles or a boat, after drinking is a critical mistake. In 2014, there were 1,145 victims killed in California in collisions that involved alcohol. This same year, another 23,878 people were injured statewide under similar circumstances. More than 1/3 of all traffic-related deaths in California involve alcohol.
Officer Tengay went on to say they are currently enforcing their Click It or Ticket campaign. Officers will be taking extra looks to make sure all passengers are wearing their seat belts properly. It's 5:13. Time to get back to Flight 1080. I'm Phil Deseth for KSCO Radio.
If you love cats, if you love dogs, or horses, pigs, birds, or frogs, there's a lot of ways to help if you're sincere. With a little bit of money, or you can volunteer. You'll save a life when you adopt. You're just getting started. Please don't stop. Right here on the Monterey Bay, you can save some critters with the SPCAs. Open up your home, donate a car, or pull some bucks from your small change jar. Give a little love, share a little time, save a little life, gain peace of mind. All the SPCAs of Monterey Bay.
What's lurking on the dark side tonight on Coast to Coast AM?
Would the FDA allow poison in our food? I sure hope not, but a whistleblower tells us she found out some horrible things and will tell us all about it. Followed, of course, then by Linda Moulton Howe with her incredible stories of high strangeness on Coast to Coast AM.
Coast to Coast AM. Wait for it after dark.
Listen to Coast tonight, beginning at 10 p.m. on KSCO.
I'm Matt Thompson, Santa Cruz resident and project manager for Day One Solar. I find Santa Cruz to be such a unique place. You have community-minded residents that really appreciate the beauty that surrounds us. But with that comes a responsibility to protect our natural resources for generations to come. At Day One Solar, we offer clean energy systems that will save you money while you help save our planet. Solar energy now. Day One Solar.
This portion of Flight 1080 brought to you by the Santa Cruz Sentinel. Read the Sentinel daily in print and online, and hear the stories discussed here on Flight 1080.
You're listening to KSCO, serving Prunedale, Parkfield, and Spreckles.
479-1080, DM at ksco.com, 218-5726. How else can they get a hold of us, Drea? I'm losing my...
DM at ksco.com. What's the...
Follow us on Facebook and Twitter at
Facebook?
Flight 1080.
Twitter. Flight 1080.
No, I got it.
Are we streaming today?
Are we
Yeah,
streaming?
check us out live streaming on YouTube.
And they can interact there too, right? They can leave comments there. We can see them there.
Yeah, there's a chat section of it. So if you go in there, type in the chat, we'll see that.
479-1080. Okay, you want to talk about Ben Carson or the choke slam? I want to talk about both of these. And by the way, there's some really good video on our Facebook page today. Who is that guy that Donald Trump almost threw a tackle on to get in front of for the cameras?
I think that was
is so
the grandmother
great,
or what?
No,
I think
it wasn't
that was
grandmother.
the leader of Macedonia.
He did
that is
what?
great. Watch, can you see this? Look at
Oh, yeah, I can. Hold on.
What?
He's got a big old blue tie.
Check this out. Get out of my way.
Oh, he
punk.
shoves the guy away.
And then he
And then he puts himself in the middle and he straightens his jacket.
Isn't that he kind of
That's going to make
brushes
for
his
a
collar? Is that what they
really
call it?
good school picture.
Actually, and yeah, that's what they were doing. They were lining up to take a picture, and like Trump promised us in his campaign, he will always put America first.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I mean, even that when they were meeting with the Obamas before they moved into the White House, he walked away from the car straight to the Obamas and left Melania just getting out of the car with other people, and then the Obamas went back and took her in basically because he had marched off.
Yeah,
He's quite the gentleman.
Well, and I think she has sort of responded by refusing to hold his hand now a couple times.
Yeah.
Maybe that was her revenge for that.
We don't know this,
But,
who knows what the
I mean,
relationship-
that's all been between him and Melania.
True.
We haven't seen him treat another politician like this
No.
before.
Just imagine if he was at a wedding and he wanted to catch the
The
bouquet or the garter or whatever it is. I mean, there'd be a bloodbath.
What is the obsession with the bouquet at a wedding?
Oh, the bouquet at a wedding is, I don't know. A lot of women actually want to go and get married, and they dream about getting married and having big old weddings in white dresses and fathers walking them down the aisle. And in order to do so, they need to get proposed to and they need to get married. And if you catch the bouquet at a wedding, you're the next one to get married.
Oh, I thought that's what it was. So
but-
that is what the whole
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
shoving and jostling is.
That's what it is. It's, I'm going to be next. I'm going to be next. No, me.
So anyway,
Yeah.
Dave was mentioning that video. That is Trump sort of shoving, I believe it's the leader of Montenegro. This is at the NATO conference. They were lining up to take a picture. We have another video of Trump
lovely.
and a politician on our Facebook page.
We do?
You can check out this one as well. This is Trump meeting with, I believe his name is Emmanuel Macron, the new French president, and it is Trump and his infamous handshake.
Oh, here we go.
Are you checking that out right now?
minutes?
It shouldn't be a 5-minute video. I think it's
was a
only
different
maybe
one.
20-second video. But basically, these two presidents met, I believe, today or yesterday. I believe it was today.
He just got inaugurated. He just got elected. They don't waste.
Yeah.
They get right to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they have a much shorter election cycle than we do, of course. But so I guess they met twice, or they shared two handshakes today. The first one, they were both sitting down, and do you know how Trump does that weird handshake thing where?
And that face to go along with it.
Well, I don't know about the face, but he grabs your hand and then he yanks you in, like he pulls your hand towards
he's
himself.
One of those. He pulls you
Yeah,
over.
and he's done this to a number of people. I think one of the examples, I think he did to like James Comey and maybe Mike Pence.
Yeah, and then he does it again when they're out and about for
Yeah.
a photo op.
So he tried to do it the first time with Macron, and the first time Macron was like, "Oh, I know your tricks. I'm gonna hold firm or whatever," and he doesn't let him yank his hand, and it's actually sort of
he's like pulling back.
Tense handshake because you see the two guys' faces. They're both sort of grimacing, and they're like clenching each other's hands really tight, and then so. I guess whoever created this video, they deemed that Macron won the first round, and then Trump gets his revenge in the second handshake.
It's good, dude. And it's gamesmanship, I guess, in the handshake. Is that what it is?
I guess
it's a macho thing. It's guys.
Well, actually,
we gotta be better.
The
than the
hardest
other guy.
handshake I ever had was a previous landlord of mine, and I would take rings off my hands before I knew she was coming over. In Germany, you shake hands when you see people often, right? And yeah, she would crush my fingers.
Why?
I don't know. She just had a fierce handshake. And this is a woman, obviously. And I really would literally take off whatever ring on my right hand. And
I'm convinced that people like that just like to show off for some reason.
no, I didn't get that vibe from her.
Well, but why else would they? But I don't know if you were here. My friend Eli had hurt his hand, and some guy comes up to him and just crushes his hand, and I'm thinking, is that really necessary? Do you not have better control than to do that? When you go and make your eggs in the morning, do you just go, oops? Do when you go and pick up a baby, just squeeze them? No, I'm sure you can control there's
but
something there.
Handshakes vary. Some people have the sort of dead fish handshake, and actually culturally they vary as well, and as into what is okay and what's not okay. Like if a firm handshake somewhere else might be really offensive.
Yeah, that's the worst. Whenever, we when I played water polo, you would have to go after the game and line up and shake everyone's hand, and that was always the ultimate sign of disrespect. You just give them the dead fish.
The dead fish?
Yeah, that's what we call it when you just don't shake their hand at all. You sort of just like keep your fingers all loose, and then they grab it and just like, oh, what is this?
Yeah, the dead fish. Yeah.
That's actually the name of it?
And sometimes.
It's either that or you grab their hand and try and crush it.
And I would never give anybody the dead fish. That's like.
But I don't think people are really aware. I try to have a firm and assertive, but not too firm handshake. But it's a gagey thing, right? You might hurt someone. Here, Dave, shake my hand. How are you? Did that hurt?
No, but that's not how you shake hands. Let me show you how you shake hands. You go like this. Look on the internet. Look, you go like this.
Okay.
Like that.
Yeah, we're doing it. Oh, yeah.
I believe that is called dapping her up, Dave.
Can we do this?
No.
Dave,
Yeah.
give me this part again, and then we have to go.
There you go.
Yeah, we exploded.
See, the best part is you explode,
yes,
and then you bring it back.
And we bring it back again.
Oh, well, we forgot to.
Okay, ready?
Yeah. That's like the Big Bang and the big. What's it called? The Big Bang is the theory that the universe went boom, and then it's accelerating now, right? But at one point it will
going to contract
and then.
That'd be an implosion.
So Dave and I were mimicking the universe, and it's coming of being and its end.
Yes, and something like that.
With our little fist bump.
479.
We got someone in our chat.
Oh, really?
We do.
Talking about the handshake. Did they see the handshake?
It's pretty cool.
That's a secret handshake.
This is I don't know what else to call him.
Are.
I guess I'll call him our serial commenter, Billy Army. Because this guy, he comments on like all of our Facebook posts, and he's here in the chat. He says Trump is one of my heroes.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, we'll talk about that in just a little while here. I'm sure we're going to talk about that.
Someone sent you a text with a link on it.
Me?
Yeah.
Yes, I see this link. Hey, watch this video and tell me what you think. It was posted on Facebook yesterday, and then I watched it over. Went over to the pantry and looked at the cereal inside. There are 2 boxes of cereal.
What?
It had this trisodium phosphate in it. Even though they say it's not a lethal dose, I don't think it should be in cereal or other foods. Maybe we'll have to check that out. I don't know. I got another text here saying those RVs are not gone. They're still there.
Oh,
this on.
But that's okay. That's okay with me.
Lapis Road. We talked
Lapis
about that
Road,
on Tuesday.
That's okay with me. Hopefully
that's going to fall to the CHPs, right?
Yes.
Whether or not they're going to go along there and kick everyone out.
Right, because Monterey County Sheriff said that they got better things to do. They're not going to go out there and
don't bother us with
guys.
that.
Yeah. 479-1080. Do we have the phone lines?
Yeah, we got 2 calls.
Okay.
2.
Julio calling from Santa Cruz. You're in the air.
Long time no talk. I love you guys. Dave, you got to be careful reading your cryptic text messages on the air.
Yeah, you can't just be clicking links like that.
I remember when you used to do traffic and radio, dude. I love the fact that you're a host now, man. Your show is like the greatest. Hey, so about the handshakes, I think it's a combination of male dominance posturing combined with cultural components, because he's an international businessman, and in most countries, well, I'm not going to say most, but a lot of countries, you have to have a really strong handshake or it's immediately like a signal of weakness, like, yo, the deal is off kind of thing. So he might have just picked it up as a natural trait. Plus, he's German. He's mostly a German fellow, and it's a really big thing over there in Germany, like having really strong handshakes. So I think some of it's cultural. I think some of it's like macho dominance type stuff. But it's very interesting for sure, watching all of the videos of his interactions with other politicians. He hasn't really blundered as much as I thought he would, so that's kind of funny. Like, he's actually like kind of holding his composure well when he's overseas. At home, he's just a whole different ball game. But yeah, interesting stuff. Anyways, just wanted to call and tell you guys love the show. Keep it up, and yeah, be careful of those texts, dude.
All right, Julia, thank you for the call.
It was in Germany where my hand got crushed. So in Germans, they do shake hands. I do. When you meet someone, you shake hands.
I think it is a show of macho-ness. Look at how strong I am. I'm much stronger than you, sissy boy.
But there's another element to Trump's handshake.
It sounds very full of testosterone to me.
I'm just not buying
Sounds
that.
a little
He doesn't
imbalanced.
just try and like grab your hand and crush your hand. he takes your hand and he yanks it towards
He
himself.
pulls you
Right.
entirely to
Yeah.
him. Yeah.
So there's another element to his handshake.
I don't know how to explain it, but if you look at, do we have that video on our Facebook page?
Yeah, both of them.
Both of them?
Both of them are
both-
posted.
Yeah, him and Macron.
Okay, so watch this, and you can see that there's some kind of
Macaroni.
gamesmanship, and they both know it, right? And
Yeah.
they both say
Oh,
that
yeah.
you've won this one, you won this one. Oh, you son of a, you
I
got
think,
me there.
Yeah,
You
the
see that?
first one, they're sort of going in it together, and then I think the second one, Trump sort of catches him off guard.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
and
great,
he pulls
dude.
him. He
It's great.
pulls. Pulling him in.
479-1080.
He's a
Let's see who's up
Yeah.
next. It is Justin calling from Scotts Valley. You're in the air.
Hey, what's up, guys? I just wanted to say that I love your guys' show. I love what you're doing. It's funny. It's fun. And I'm actually doing radio broadcasting classes right now.
Cool.
And, and I just wanted to say that you guys are awesome.
Wow, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Good luck with the classes.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'll be coming over to the station here shortly.
Oh, well, can't wait to meet you.
Yes, hopefully to if you guys have any positions open. Wink,
Oh.
wink.
Oh, all
Wink,
right.
wink.
Wink, wink.
He's so subtle, Dave.
But and also, you never give dead fish handshakes. Just hands down. You don't do it.
Yeah, it's not cool. It's not what the handshake is supposed to be for. I don't believe
No,
it.
it shows a lack of interest. It's just like, oh, hey, hi. You know,
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole idea of
Not
the
respectful.
handshake is to show respect, and to not do the handshake correctly is a showing of disrespect. I mean, that defeats the purpose of the handshake.
Yeah,
which
we
is
used
worse
to do
than rejecting it.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, I found something cool.
Thank you for your call, Justin, and good luck to you too.
I was talking about it.
Thank you.
Thanks. Yeah.
We used to do it after our water polo games. Like after a game, you'd have to line up and shake everyone else's hand. So if there's someone who, like, I don't know, you were fighting with during the game, that's when you give them the dead fish
And they
handshake.
pinch you with their feet, right? Because actually, water polo is really mean under the water. It's super mean.
Pinch
under
with
the
your
water.
feet?
Yeah, they're evil under the water. They can be right. Don't they? They go for you under the water with their
Yeah,
feet,
they
your
definitely-
toes, and oh yeah,
No, they just use their hands.
that's it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've never been pinched by someone's
Oh,
toes.
I would have pinched
Couldn't
you
you
if I'd
throw a
played water
knee
polo.
at somebody right in their thigh?
Yeah, you can just knee people, punch
Yeah.
them
Well, that's
underwater.
not with your hand.
Yeah, you don't need to pinch them with your toes.
But you could.
You could throw a knee.
Yes, that wouldn't be very effective.
Oh, I'm a good toe pincher.
479-1080.
I found something really quick. Oh, we have callers that we should take that, but I'll do this maybe after the break. There's the Stuff for Success Business Social Sales Skills, and it has a whole list of different kinds of handshakes and how you're supposed to do
Really?
them. So it
Okay,
could be
all right.
interesting.
We got
But we got
calls, though.
callers, so
Okay,
let's
let's
do
get
those.
to them right now. Billy Sunshine. You're
Hey,
in there.
guys.
Hey, Billy.
So basically, when I give a handshake, I try to give a reasonably firm handshake. If someone gives me a really firm handshake, then I try to match them, but let them win. Because if it's important to them, let them have it. But you don't, you want to let them know you're a man, but you don't have to overman it. Especially when you're a guy my size, you're already more manly than everybody you see.
There it is.
To all.
Thank you for your call, Billy. 479-1080.
Yeah, Billy, it's man. It doesn't. Does being tall mean manly? No.
No.
Yes.
There you go. No, it
Some
does
of the
not.
manliest guys in the world are short. I'll have
I'm
you
a
know.
man. There you go.
Yeah.
Napoleon
Just
wasn't
look
all
at
that
Arnold.
Yeah, I mean, Napoleon, yes.
tall. He was
Actually-
probably making up with it with all those battles.
Actually, Napoleon for his time wasn't even short.
No?
Yeah.
Oh, I
yeah,
did not know
of course
this.
not. Even for today's time, he's not short.
Exactly. All powerful men are not short. It's a fact.
All powerful men are not short. Yeah, they can't be.
479-1080.
We got a call. Let's go before we get the
We only
break.
got 20 seconds.
Oh,
Mrs.
shoot.
Claus, is that enough for you?
It's Mrs. Claus, and Billy's just right. Let him win. It's not a matter of a contest, but a greeting that you want to make them feel comfortable and acknowledge. Make sure you make eye contact when you take hands. And I always try to match, the person whose hands I'm shaking without being a dead fish, because there's
Right.
nothing worse than that. But don't let them have the upper hand, because it's just an acknowledgement of their being and supposed to be a friendly greeting.
Right. Thank you for the encouraging words, Mrs. Claus. 479-1080.
I love
KSU
it when she
Santa Cruz.
calls.
New senior legal analyst Andrew Cohen.
The ruling is yet another example of how much more difficult the Trump administration has made things for itself
with its out-of-court comments about the need for a Muslim ban. Without those comments made over and over again, the pretext for the discrimination claim, the judges who ruled against the ban would have had a much harder time justifying their reasons for doing so.
The Attorney General says the administration will appeal the ruling, but CBS's Jeff Pagay says that won't happen just yet.
The administration is expected to wait to appeal until the Ninth Circuit Court rules on a similar case. If the two courts disagree, the Supreme Court will likely need to step in.
CBS News Update. I'm Deborah Rodriguez.
You're listening to AM 1080 KSCO's Santa Cruz. The time is 5:32. Headlines are up next. Phil Deseth, take it away.
Thanks, Dave, and good afternoon, Central Coast. The Santa Cruz Police Department recovered 2 stolen bikes earlier this week with the help of Good Samaritans. And 44-year-old John Walkenbach was seen stealing a bike in the area of Ocean and Felker Streets. A witness took a picture and turned it into the Santa Cruz Police Department. Officers located Walkenbach in the same area the next day and arrested him for grand theft. During the investigation, 2 bikes were recovered. The first bike was seen being stolen was returned to the police department by Walkenbach's friends. The second stolen bike was found stashed near the San Lorenzo Park. Both bikes have been returned to their owners. The Monterey County Sheriff's Office is seeking the public's help in identifying 2 people they believe involved in stealing credit cards. The 4 cards were stolen last month out of a vehicle. The stolen cards were used to purchase a MacBook Pro at the Del Monte Apple Store in Monterey. The cards were also used at the Best Buy in Marina and Target in San City. Authorities believe a man and woman caught on surveillance video may be involved but have not been identified. A picture of the 2 can be seen on the Monterey County Sheriff's Office Facebook page. Anyone with information is encouraged to contact authorities. And a proposed car dealership project at the corner of 41st Avenue and SoCal Drive has been changed and was pulled from the May Planning Commission meeting. Before the new plan is considered, the owner of the dealership is hosting a community meeting to hear from the public. The meeting will give community members an opportunity to see what the project is and to ask questions. It will be held from 6 to 8 p.m. on Wednesday, May 31st at the Fairfield Inn and Suites located at 1255 41st Avenue in Capitola. It's 5:34. Time to get back to Flight 1080. I'm Phil Deseth for KSCO Radio.
You're listening to AM 1080 KSCO Santa Cruz. The time is now 5:34. Let's see what's happening out there on your local roadways. We start off on Highway 1, southbound speeds at 41st Avenue are stop and go. They'll stay that way for the most part into Aptos. Once you make it into Aptos, 20 miles per hour, but it's still very slow moving. Southbound Highway 1. Over in Moss Landing, both directions 10 miles per hour near the harbor. Monterey into Seaside, same thing. Southbound 101 crossing over Coyote Creek, 5 miles per hour top speed. And again in Gilroy, speed slowing down near 10th Street, stop and go there. 475-1080 with your traffic reports. Flight 1080 back after this.
You have cancer, and unless you take serious action immediately, you will be dead within 2 years. Devastating words that no one wants to hear ever. Well, my friend Bob heard those words recently, and as you can imagine, it turned his world upside down. Thoughts of losing body parts and body functions, having people treat him differently, the pall of depression, and even consideration of suicide are just some of the things that raced through his mind, until he grabbed hold of himself and decided to deal decisively with this problem. What he has learned in this process, he wants to share with everyone. All of us are touched by cancer every day, if not personally through experiences of friends and loved ones. Granted, the topic is not a happy one, but Bob's journey is worth chronicling. Starting with the next KSCO special this Saturday, 10 a.m. to 12 noon, right here on No Need to Be Alone Ever Radio, AM 1080 KSCO.
everyone. This is Meg, the food service manager over at Ben Lomond Market. Letting you know, the meat department guys love special orders and will happily provide you with whatever cut you want. The meat department direct line is 336-3903. If you don't feel like cooking, just give the catering line a call at 336-3910. They have wonderful dinners and a huge variety to choose from of hot and cold side dishes. So place your order today. We have the deli line at 336-3904. Ask them any questions about bakery or any sort of deli things, and they'll be happy to take care of you. Standing by to help you. You can also go online at www.benlomondmarket.com. Check out our year-round menu. Come on in and shop around. Our floor department is gorgeous, and we have our spring garden out, so if you feel like doing a little gardening as well this weekend. So come by, and thank you as always for shopping with us at Ben Lomond Market.
Cash flows and money move. The Money Move Show is dedicated to delivering tips and tools to help you earn more, save more, and protect your hard-earned assets. Host Pamela Fugit-Hedrick interacts with her guests and callers every Thursday night from 7 to 8 p.m. Recent topics have included what is going on locally with health insurance, tips to maximize your Social Security income, how do you build an emergency fund for your family, Medicare 101 tips, how do you choose and pay for home health care, and many other topics. So tune in, take notes, call, and get answers to your financial questions from Pamela Fugit-Hedrick on Money Moves, Thursdays at 7 p.m. That's Money Moves, Thursdays, 7 p.m. on KSCO, AM 1080 Santa Cruz, and KOMY 1340 Watsonville, and 104.1 on your FM dial.
You're listening to KSCO, serving Aromas, the Carmel Highlands, and Paraiso Springs.
Four 475-1080. You're listening to Flight 1080 KSCO Santa Cruz, being brought to you in part by our good friends at the Santa Cruz Sentinel. Not only providing stories for us, but also for you, stories that matter to you. Santa Cruz Sentinel has been doing it for over 150 years, and they have a special offer for our listeners. 706-3261 is the number you want to call. You pick the special. Call that number, 706-3261. Here are the specials.
They're good specials.
You ready? Yeah, you ready?
Tell me.
Sundays only for 26 weeks. You can get the Sunday edition, less than $1 per Sunday.
That's cool.
Deal number 2, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 13 weeks, less than 50 cents per day, 706-3261. Deal number 3, which I think is the best deal, 7 days a week for 8 weeks, about 35 cents per day, 706-3261. Remember, you must call and ask for the KSCO special, and this is
KSCO
for
special.
new subscribers as well.
Cool.
Probably the best thing in or one of the best things in the Santa Cruz Sentinel today is the opinion pieces from the listeners or from the readers, and we'll get to some of those letters coming
From the
up here.
future.
Yes, letters from the future and from the past.
So during the break or right before, I was looking for articles on the types of handshakes. Since
Oh, yeah,
there's so
right,
many, like the dead fish and the whatnot. So forgive me for this one. It's from iDiva, but I kind
Trump.
of liked it. I just realized it's all female. So the first one, they've got a list of just like handwriting, how a person shakes hand is also a clue to their inner nature. Nowhere will you find a larger variety in handshakes than at your workplace. So if you know what each handshake says about the person you are interacting with at the workplace, you can put that knowledge to good use.
Yes.
So basically, you can judge a person.
Yes.
You can judge a person by their handshake.
Absolutely.
So handshake number 1. Sweaty palms.
You.
This is usually the sign of a nervous person. When a person is nervous, their sympathetic nervous system often becomes overactive, sometimes resulting in sweaty palms. I've had that.
How many are there on that list?
I won't do them all. There's dead fish. There's a brush-off handshake.
Let's go to the phone calls, and then we'll get back to that list.
Definitely.
All right, let's get
Sorry,
to Dave's call. He's calling from Live Oak. You're in the air, Dave. Thank you for your call.
Thank you. First, I'd like to say that you guys are a fabulous team.
Oh,
thank you.
Us? You know, you're top of the line. The next thing is, I was raised here. I'm in the 40s, all 40s. I'm born in 41, 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s. And I left in 78. I had a business here and ventured out and had another business going and just moved back about a year ago.
Welcome back.
Santa Cruz, thank you, honey. Santa Cruz is still the best place to live, and I'm very lucky to be here. But there's still some comical things. Wherever you go in life, everyone has problems and situations in their life. So, I'm aware of that. Everyone I come in contact with, the grocer, I go to the grocery store, wherever somebody does some work for me, I try to understand them and have compassion for them. So I'm to Target. I'm in Target, and I'm going to go to Target, and there's a bunch of people crossing the crosswalk, by the parking area there. And there's a whole slew of them. I just hit it right. And this woman comes up and pounds on my window. I mean, she is very angry. So I say, she has problems and situations in her life, Dave. So I just roll the window and I want and she says, you don't have to let everyone cross. And I didn't say anything, of course. Pedestrians have the right of way. I have to, let everyone go. So she went back and then honked her horn at me, and then when everyone had crossed, I went on. It's not a big deal, but it's like you let two go. Now the third one, the pedestrian is going to have to wait. And so I thought that it was kind of funny at that. I kind of laughed at it to myself.
So you just let her vent on you and got on with your day?
I let her. That was the best thing. I thought, I'm not going to react to a situation.
Sometimes you do people a favor when you do that.
Yeah,
you
I think you did her a favor.
Let them vent on you and walk away, and it's all good. And they feel
So
better.
because you were letting pedestrians cross the street, a woman got out of her car and started yelling at you?
Oh, yes. She was very angry. Well, she was behind me. And she got out of her car and started pounding on my window, and these people are crossing the crosswalk then. And naturally, I let my window down, and I didn't say anything. And she looked at me, and she said, you do not have to let everyone cross the walk. And I did, do I let 4 or 5 cross, and then the 5th one?
You wait for the toddler, then you get going, right?
Everybody out of the pool.
The grandmother with the toddler. That's when that's enough. That's just too much.
You shall not pass.
That guy with the cane, he's got to go. Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, you are just fabulous. You people are fabulous, and you do a great job. And thank you very much for listening to my little story.
That was
Thanks
funny.
for sharing.
Thank you for your call,
That's
479-1080. It kind of reminds me of a story. We'll get back to the handshakes. Yesterday, I was on my way home. I'm tired. I want to go home. There's this car won't move. It's just stalled there. Vehicles are in front. I've already passed there. There's 6, 8, 10, 12 now car lengths, 15, 14. I go beep, beep, beep.
You honked?
And I honked. I was like, come on, you son of a... And she throws her hands up like, hey, I can't do anything. There's an ambulance coming behind me. And I'm like, oh, wow.
Yeah, sometimes.
I wish I could have, telegraphed an apology to her, and kind of let her know that I was really a jerk there. I'm sorry about that.
Well, maybe she's listening right now.
Yes, maybe
so
she is.
if Dave was honking at you, he's sorry.
I'm sorry about that. I apologize.
We've all had that, though, on occasion
I know.
where we react the wrong way. We realize, oops, there is a thing there.
Yeah. Is there an apology handshake? Is that on the list there?
I didn't see
So we got
one.
the cold fish.
The first one was the sweaty palms. The next one is the dead fish, which we were talking about. Of all the types of handshakes, the dead fish is the most infamous one. The hand has no energy. There is no shake, no squeeze, not even a pinch.
Oh, yeah, the dead fish is even better if you have sweaty palms.
Oh, yeah, it's probably perfect. And it gives the feeling you are holding a dead fish instead of a hand. That's obviously where the name comes from. And the handshake is a synonym or considered a synonym to low self-esteem.
The handshake? The what?
Yeah, that's the dead fish handshake. It's kind of like...
Really?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because
it has no power and there's no assertiveness.
No, what
There's
it's showing
no-
is you're chicken bleep, right? Because this is supposed to be a
Or
thing of respect,
passive.
and you're just going like, like you're being just a chicken bleep, passive chicken bleep. Yeah, absolutely.
Chicken bleep?
Yes, don't you think?
No, not really. I just kind of know.
Ben, have you ever given anybody the cold fish?
Yeah,
dead
like when I
fish.
was
Or the dead fish, whatever it is. I don't
The
know.
cold
I was
dead
in like
fish.
junior high. Yeah, we used to do it to.
Remember when it was water polo? See,
I
you guys
don't-
were all just
But we
showing
used to
your
do it to like
insecurity.
mess with people.
I know.
So what else is on the list?
There's the brush off.
What-
This
how does that-
handshake. This handshake type is a quick grasp and then a release.
Yes.
That feels like your hand is being shoved aside.
Yes.
This handshake is a statement of it's my turf and my agenda that matters. Yours doesn't.
Yes, that's the one I prefer.
And again, this is from idiva.com. So
Okay.
how scientifically
Hey, those
correct
are
this
the-
is
that
questionable.
Okay, well, whatever.
Then there's the two-handed handshake.
Yeah, okay, go ahead
Usually
and explain that
used
one.
by politicians, this type of handshake is said to convey the meaning of warmness.
So anyone who
friendly,
gives you,
honest, and trustworthy.
so if anyone gives you a two-handed handshake, it
Don't
means
trust
they're
them.
a politician.
Don't trust them.
But there's a catch here. If his or her left hand is staying on your hand, it is a sincere handshake. However, if the hand goes up your wrist, your arm, or your elbow, he's trying to get something from you.
Yeah, or steal your watch.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Don't trust a two-handed handshake. Don't trust it. Bad
Okay,
news.
no, okay.
Bad news. No,
the
no, no.
controller. This is number 5.
That's the one that Trump threw
Yeah,
on Macron.
I think
They should
so.
call this
That's
the Trump.
great, dude. That's a great
You-
handshake,
you
boy.
Feel, I don't think it's a great handshake.
I think
but
it's
hey,
great.
But it's called in this article, idiva.com, the controller. You feel your hand being pulled toward the person or strongly guided in a different direction, perhaps towards a chair. People who do this are controllers. This means they want to dominate any inanimate or animate objects in the room, and that would include you.
Yeah, I mean, let me say, I don't like the people that do the handshake, but I like the handshake that Donald Trump did on that video.
For entertainment purposes?
For
or-
entertainment, yeah. It's just
not
well,
for
not just that, but also for
politically-
gamesmanship.
You think so?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't believe that
Ben?
politics is a pissing
Am I wrong?
contest, and
Am
we
I
just
wrong,
have
or
to
am I-
out
think-
monkey everybody.
Yeah, I know.
I
I
don't.
know.
I'm not a big gray silverback. I don't
I-
think that's how politics should be done. But hey,
I
if
think-
you got a chest to pound, you might as well pound it, right?
Let me
Other than
ask
for
Ben.
media purposes and us sitting around and talking about it, it's really insignificant.
But what do you think about the handshake? Do you think that's that he won that handshake or no?
See, the fact that you're even using the word "won" or "lose," I mean, it's just crazy.
Yeah.
You're talking about people.
Well,
shaking-
that's
I think
what
it
a handshake.
really doesn't matter.
It shouldn't be. It should be a greeting. I never put that much thought into it. But hey,
So you don't think it matters? You just say, hey, that handshake doesn't matter.
No, yeah, I think in terms of the big scale,
Well, that's what I'm asking you. Well, I
yeah,
guess.
it really doesn't matter.
Oh, you
Yeah,
mean
no,
it's
right.
like
Okay.
like the
It's
pimple
nice to
on the
talk
on the
about.
rear end of something somewhere in the middle of nowhere, basically.
Yeah, I mean, it is. It's nice to talk about. I think it's sort of fun. You can debate about it a little bit, but in the grand scheme of things, I'm not going to pretend like it really mattered.
Well, there's a
Well,
total.
I think it shows the character of the person that uses it. I mean, isn't that why we're talking about
I
it?
mean, yeah, that's part of what we're doing, but
Right.
I don't know how much it shows that character. But there's the number 6 is the finger vice, when someone grabs your fingers and not your entire hand. You guys have had that before.
Oh, that's the worst.
Yeah. It's
When
meant to
someone just
keep you-
grabs, it's like
Yeah.
they prematurely latch on. So it's like you were gonna shake their hand, but
And
then,
then
all
they
of a sudden they
squeeze
just
hard.
grab your fingers, and you're sitting there because you like once they grab your fingers, you can't get any sort of grip back on them, and then they're just crushing your fingers and you're helpless.
And that's not good.
These people are often, it's designed to keep you at a distance, according to IDEVA.
Yeah, exactly.
These people are often insecure. If they also crush your fingers, they're adding a show of personal power, which is also designed to keep you at a distance.
And it's also not very fun, or it's not very fair, because if you're grabbing someone else's fingers, they can't grab your hand back.
No. The
So-
bone
It's
crusher
not
is
fair.
the next one.
All right, I have
That's
to
the one I
read
had.
some of these comments that are in our YouTube live chat.
Oh, go for it.
Some of these are from serial commenter Billy Army.
Okay.
He says, I broadcast from my basement. I wear a special pinwheel hat. Sometimes I put a fan next to me so it will spin.
He's
who
sitting there
doesn't?
with his little pinwheel hat and a fan so it goes
And
around.
He said that he said to me and you, Dave, he can show us a Masonic handshake.
Oh, really?
Ooh.
Yeah.
All right.
So that's interesting.
So there's the lobster claw.
The lobster
That's
claw.
the one I probably suffered from. Or no, the bone crusher. This form of squeezing your hand until you cringe. It's designed to intimidate you, but I didn't think she was trying to do that. The lobster claw is like the claw of a lobster, obviously. The other person's thumb and fingers touch the palm of your hand. And the person doing This fears connecting at a deep level and may have challenges building relationships.
Wait, how does that work?
Well, you can analyze the
So they
crap
just-
out of things. It can be a little ridiculous, right?
They just
But,
grab you like a lobster claw?
like a lobster claw.
That's
Yeah.
so
Shock
bizarre.
lobster.
Who does that?
The top-handed shake.
That's weird.
The
Hello,
top-handed
human.
shake. Instead of holding his hand in a vertical position, he holds it horizontally. It's when you got like that instead of sideways. If you're not perpendicular to the ground, but let's just say one hand has the palm facing down, the other hand has the
Who
palm
shakes like
facing
that?
up. Some people do that kind of thing. Means he feels superior to you.
I feel like I've seen Vladimir Putin do that.
Yeah. And the last one's the pusher. While this person shakes your hand, she extends her arms so you can't get close to her. She needs space and is trying not to let you in. You must give her the physical
So
and
it's like-
emotional space she is asking for if you want to be her friend.
So it's like the opposite of Trump.
Yeah.
If her and Trump handshook each other, it would be perfect because he would yank her in and she'd shove him away.
Mm-hmm. Well, it looked like Macron was trying to do a little of that too. He was like pulling against it.
Well, on the second handshake, it's interesting because they latch in and then Trump pulls him towards him, and then you see Macron actually like put his hand on Trump's arm and like try and separate the two.
Yeah. It's like, I need a surgeon.
479-1080.
Next thing you know, he's going to start doing crazy glue and stuff like that right before he shakes hands. And you're stuck forever. Oh, and the rule of handshakes
Or
I
get a
read
joy
somewhere
buzzer.
else is that you're supposed to count to like 1 Mississippi. Is the
As far as the length of the handshake?
Yeah.
Well,
1 Mississippi.
You can watch the video of the handshake on the two handshakes actually between Macron and Trump on our Facebook page. The first handshake was way more than 1 Mississippi.
Yes. Well, he had one that was epic long with, I can't remember who it was with. It was just ridiculously long.
479-1080.
But hey.
Let's head out to the
And
phone
he has
lines.
such little hands. I don't know how he does it.
Is it Angelia?
Oh, I mean big hands.
Or Angela?
I forgot.
You're in the air.
Okay, I just want to tell you guys that the handshaking is a little bit too boring by now. Why don't you talk about Trump and the Pope and the wife and the daughter, how much respect they went to with their bell on, like Mrs. Kennedy did 50 years ago?
And we
Why
talked
don't you
about
talk
that yesterday.
Something like that?
We talked about that yesterday.
But if you have another
Because-
subject, we're open.
Yeah, you got another
I
subject?
agree. It's enough handshakes.
No, the handshaking you guys been talking about on and on and on. I'm getting bored.
All right, Angela. We'll switch it up for you. Thank you for your call.
See, that's pretty cool. Let us know.
Herb
Can't
is from
do that with the TV.
Herb
can
is
you?
from the
No,
future. Maybe he has.
can't.
Hey, SpongeBob, I'm tired of these stupid
Yeah,
jokes.
SpongeBob, put your pants on.
Herb calling
He
from.
does have pants.
I believe calling from. Oh, he's calling from the future. You're in the air.
What?
Yeah, in the future, people will be greeting each other with Jamaican soccer greetings.
Really?
How does that work?
Hey, Herb, I got a question
How's
for
that?
you.
Sure,
You're from the future, right?
I'm from your future.
Okay.
Cool.
In the future, are
I'm
we
in
still
my present.
Okay. In the future though, is Flight 1080? Are we still talking about handshakes?
Sometimes.
Oh, sorry, Angela.
Back and forth.
479-1080.
But the Jamaican soccer greeting, that's where you gently raise up your elbow and the other person does the same.
Ah,
Like you
I've
touch
seen
elbows?
that. Yeah.
You know, they also do the fist bump.
Mm.
And there's really sanitary reasons for both of
Yes.
those because a lot of germs get transferred.
They do.
I was gonna
But
say,
the
yeah.
best
The only
way
time
to-
I do the elbow bump is when I've got a cold or something.
Yeah, the best way to greet is with a sparkle in the eye and a bow of the head.
Yeah.
Because
Sparkle in the eye.
That way you don't have
eyes
to touch them at all.
Transmit the good feeling, and the bow of the head denotes respect.
How about if you just lift the head like this? Like that.
Did you see that, everybody out
And then
there?
flick your chin.
I'm not on the live stream.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, well, okay.
That's why Dave keeps doing these visual things here and asking if you know what it is.
And then some people greet each other with a full body belly rub hug.
A bear
like
hug.
Samoans or something like that?
They usually are pretty intimate with each other already.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember a friend of mine and his girlfriend. She was my friend too. But they were surfers, and they'd stand in front of each other and they'd spring towards each other with their bellies foremost out there, and they'd actually kiss each other with their bellies.
Oh,
It was really
Like
cute.
a chest bump. It's like a chest bump, but a belly bump.
Yeah, in the middle of the air.
All right, okay, that's all right, Herb. Thank you for the call. 479-1080.
Flying belly bump.
Is it true that Eskimos really kiss by brushing their noses?
With the Eskimo kisses, what we used to say when I was a kid.
Where'd that come from?
You know what? Speaking of handshakes, and we'll move on to something else.
Are you sure?
Could we go back to the days when it was just a handshake and none of this hugging stuff? You know how guys, this is how guys greet each other now. They go and you shake the hand, and then you do kind of half hug. You know what?
Bro hug.
You know what, dude? That's not hug. How about just a handshake? And we move on. I mean, what's up with the hug? I don't get that.
It's the hand and then the shoulders over
I don't like people being that close to me. I'd really rather you not be.
It's just a natural extension of like the vice grip handshake. You know, two bros, they grab each other, they want to show their dominance. So what they do is they bear hug each other and then they just squeeze each other really tight. And they're like, oh, dude.
Is that showing dominance, or is that showing that you trust that they're not going to kill you? The same way that a dog will let you pet its belly. Or a cat will, you know, or they do that because they trust you.
We hug each other to totally show dominance, man.
Really? All right.
There's so many men on this show.
47910. I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't get it. Here's a letter from the Santa Cruz Sentinel, or to the Santa Cruz Sentinel.
Okay.
This is from Shauna Casey, and two people. Oh, check this out. This is great. This one makes me mad, sort of. Not everyone at Kerr Hall felt unsafe during the protest. That is the headline on this letter. She says, we wish Ryan Masters' article published on May 15th regarding the Kerr Hall student demonstrations would have reflected opinions from a broader sampling of building occupants. We work in Kerr Hall and did not feel unsafe during or after the protests. Black Lives Matter, and we strive to understand the historical premise for the students' frustrations with the systems of power and oppression that perpetuate racial injustice and the need for disruption. We all make decisions that contribute to systemic oppression. Prioritizing learning about these issues is especially important given the pervasiveness of white supremacy nationally and locally. We encourage campus staff to join us in learning about issues of power, privilege, and white fragility. One option is to take classes through the Diversity and Inclusion Certificate program offered to all employees. We hope staff experiences don't overshadow the critical, timely, and legitimate concerns of black students and their allies. Her point, or one of her points here, she has many points here, was that not everybody was scared at the protest at Kerr Hall.
Yeah.
What she doesn't understand is that's not the way it works. If anybody was scared for their safety, that's a crime.
No.
Right? Because, yes, you can't go around and scare half the people, and because the other half...
The clown is standing at the side of the road with his not bloody machete, and it's not
But these are people going around banging on the offices of staff and faculty going, hey, we know you're in there. Come on out. Come on out.
Yeah.
Right?
That's what they did?
But this person was Shauna was also in that.
No, I don't remember that.
You know,
the protesters at Kerr Hall, you don't remember reading that in the paper?
Was that the Tuesday he was studying?
Maybe you were.
You
maybe
were
weren't
studious.
Here.
Dave and I talked about it.
They're going on the halls banging on the office because they knew that the people that were in those offices, because they all have nameplates out there saying, "Hey, we know you're in there. We know you're in there. Come on out." They were scared. So faculty are saying that some faculty are saying we don't even want to go back because those students say that they will come back and reoccupy if their demands are not met come August. They're scared. They're scared to go back.
Come the fall.
Come the fall, yeah.
Come the fall.
4791080 DM at KSCO.com. As long as anybody was scared, there was a crime. Somebody's freedom was taken from them. Just because she wasn't scared doesn't mean that the people who were.
She's talking about the cause behind it, though, and the
I know
systematic oppression
that's a separate
of
issue.
black
That's a
people in
totally
the
different
United
issue.
States, which is
if somebody fears for their
valid.
safety, that's a crime. That's not cool. All this stuff that she says might be true, but you cannot go and do that to people. You can't terrorize people. You can't do it. 4791080, and just because she wasn't scared doesn't mean the other people weren't.
It was a sit-in with a
KSCO
little
Santa
yelling.
Cruz.
On the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals questioned whether the travel ban deliberately and unconstitutionally singled out Muslims. In upholding a lower court's ruling to block it, the court said it remained unconvinced the measure's true aim was for national security. The court's chief judge said the context of the ban was based on religious intolerance, animus, and discrimination.
Attorney General Jeff Sessions says the administration will ask for a Supreme Court review of the ruling. With the suicide bombing at a concert in England top of mind, U.S. Homeland Security Secretary John Kelly tells a Senate panel he expects more Manchester-style attacks.
This terrorist threat is so insidious, it's so decentralized, I worry about the homegrown threat all the time.
Queen Elizabeth has visited young victims injured in the attack. CBS's Mark Phillips at Royal Manchester Children's Hospital.
The nation's 91-year-old grandmother here to make 14-year-old Evie Mills and everyone else feel better, and saying what everyone felt.
Very wicked.
Very wicked to target that sort of thing, she said.
British officials are once again sharing intelligence about the attack with the U.S. after Prime Minister Theresa May scolded President Trump over leaks that led to the publication of crime scene evidence. CBS News has learned the president's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, is under scrutiny in the Russia investigation. Correspondent Jeff Pegues.
We started digging into some of the meetings that Kushner had, and one of those meetings was with Sergei Kislyak. He is the Russian ambassador. Kislyak is a central figure, and as a result of that, anyone who sort of crossed his path in the Trump orbit is essentially under scrutiny by the FBI.
Make sure you get enough sleep, especially if you have high blood pressure or high cholesterol. If you don't, could kill you. CBS News medical contributor Dr. Tara Narula on the results of a new study.
In a sleep lab, researchers monitored the sleep of more than 1,300 people and found that those with metabolic syndrome who got less than 6 hours sleep were twice as likely to die of heart disease or stroke compared to those who slept more than 6 hours.
Words of wisdom to grads at Harvard from the guy who never got his degree until the university handed him an honorary one today. Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg.
I'm here to tell you that finding your purpose isn't enough. The challenge for our generation is to create a world where everyone has a sense of purpose.
The Dow closed up 70 points today at 21,082. This is CBS News.
Wouldn't it be great if you could stop crime before it happens? With the Ring Floodlight Cam, you can. I'm Jamie Siminoff, inventor and founder of Ring. Floodlight Cam is a motion-activated HD security camera that connects right to your phone, so you're alerted when anyone steps onto your property. You can now see, speak, or even sound an alarm right from your phone, anywhere, anytime. Does your floodlight prevent crime? Ours does. Go to ring.com/advantage and save $150 off of a Ring of Security kit. That's ring.com/advantage.
Finding great people to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. It's time to try ZipRecruiter, where 80% of jobs get a qualified candidate in just one day. How? Using powerful technology, ZipRecruiter matches your job to the right candidates fast. So, while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, only ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
And right now you can try ZipRecruiter free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/talk for your free trial. ZipRecruiter.com/talk.
It's been 40 years since fans were first wowed by a galaxy far, far away.
What has made the Star Wars movies such iconic films? It's a combination of many things. There is the music. And it's not just the Star Wars theme. When you hear that music, it is likely you think of Star Wars. There are also the famous lines.
May the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you.
And then there is the basic message from all the Star Wars films.
I think Princess Leia summed it up best. Hope. There's always hope.
Steve Futterman, CBS News, Hollywood.
A black Labrador retriever has gotten his own headshot in the Stafford, Virginia high school yearbook. Alpha is Andrew Schalk's service dog who attends school each day and gives the 16-year-old his paw when the student's blood sugar levels are off. Schalk has type 1 diabetes and says Alpha has turned his disease into a positive experience. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
Does your basement or crawl space have damp, musty odors? Do you worry about indoor gases and pollutants? Everyday living generates moisture that can nourish mold and odors, even asthmatic triggers. Indoor pollutants linked to respiratory ailments, birth defects, and cancers can become trapped in your home. You can't buy health, but you can buy Wave's moisture control and air quality products. Wave Home Solutions for a dry, healthy home. Satisfaction guaranteed. Go to dryhome123.com. That's dryhome123.com.
Here is the inventor of Texas Superfood, Dennis Black.
Great health comes from nature, and that's what's in Texas Superfood. Nature's antioxidant-rich vitamins and minerals from 55 vine-ripened fruits and vegetables. So here's my health promise to you. Switch from your chemistry set vitamins to Texas Superfood for 90 days. Experience increased energy, more focus, and better sleep, or return it. No questions asked.
Now, when you order 2 bottles of Texas Superfood, get the 3rd bottle free. 877-55-TEXAS. You can also order online at texassuperfood.com.
You're listening to AM 1080 KSEO Santa Cruz, AM 1340 KOMY LaSalle Beach, Watsonville. The time is now 6:06. We've got traffic and weather for you. We start off with traffic in Santa Cruz, 10 miles per hour, top speed southbound at 41st Avenue. Heading into Moss Landing, southbound 1, 10 miles per hour, speeds picking up once you make it past the harbor. Northbound traffic, pretty much the same situation. Southbound 101 near, is that Metcalf? Near Bailey Avenue is stop and go. It'll stay that way till you make it past Coyote Creek. Your weather forecast for tonight. We're expecting partly cloudy conditions. Overnight lows should be around 52 degrees. Tomorrow gradually becomes sunny. Highs will be around 64 degrees. Your boaters forecast for tonight. Small craft advisory. West winds 15 to 25 knots. Decreasing to 5 to 15 knots after midnight. Wind waves 3 to 5 feet. And west swells 3 feet at 10 seconds. The time is now 6:07. Headlines are up next. Phil Deseth is standing by with those. Let's get his music queued up. There we go. KSEO.com. Remember, you can catch up with headlines whenever you want, traffic whenever you want, podcasts, all kinds of stuff. KSEO.com, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The time is 6:07. Here's Phil.
Thanks, Dave, and good evening, everyone. CAL FIRE is working to contain a small fire in Carmel Valley. The Saddle Fire broke out near Schultz Road at about 3 p.m. At this time, CAL FIRE crews battling the quarter-acre fire are being assisted by 2 inmate crews, a bulldozer, a helicopter, 2 air tankers, and 5 fire engines. Traffic on Carmel Valley Road is being affected. The cause of the fire is under investigation. And the body of a man found Monday in Aptos Creek has been identified as 46-year-old Stephen Rawls. Rawls was last heard from on May 2nd, although his cause of death has not yet been determined. No foul play is suspected. A woman was arrested yesterday morning in Salinas. Maria Alvarez is believed to be involved with a drug smuggling operation in the Monterey County Jail. Alvarez joins 4 other people who have already been booked into jail on drug smuggling charges. Additionally, Alvarez faces charges of child endangerment. A 30-year-old Monterey County jail inmate has been found guilty of battering another inmate. Corey John Lee Lenite is said to have led 4 other inmates in an attack last month. The other 4 have all pled guilty to taking part in the attack. And former Salinas City Councilman Jose Castaneda was found guilty of domestic violence. Richard Marone has the details.
An ex-girlfriend accused Castaneda of stalking, kidnapping, sexual battery, and physically injuring her. The jury deadlocked on the sexual battery charge. Castaneda faces a maximum sentence of 9 years and 8 months in prison. Sentencing is scheduled to be on June 22nd. This is Richard Maroney for KSEO Radio.
California's unfunded pension debt is approaching $500 billion. In an attempt to slow down the runaway train, Assemblyman Billy Breaux introduced California Pension and Protection Act of 2017.
This proposal does not eliminate any existing retirement guarantees. Let me be clear on that. It simply allows voters the opportunity to weigh on whether a new plan should be created or an existing plan or benefit should be expanded.
Act AC 15 would give voters a voice in their government pension decisions and protect vital services that could be threatened by unfunded pension debt. And Memorial Day is coming up, and KSEO spoke with California Highway Patrol Officer Stephen Tanguay about some of the recent statistics involving drunken driving.
The law and common sense make it absolutely clear that driving any vehicle, including recreational vehicles, or a boat after drinking is a critical mistake. In 2014, there were 1,145 victims killed in California in collisions that involved alcohol. This same year, another 23,878 people were injured statewide under similar circumstances. More than 1/3 of all traffic-related deaths in California involve alcohol.
Officer Tanguay went on to say that they are currently enforcing their Click It or Ticket campaign. Officers will be taking an extra look to make sure all passengers are buckled up properly. The campaign began on May 22nd and goes until June 4th. It's 6:11. Time to get back to Flight 1080. I'm Phil Deseth for KSEO Radio.
Thank you, Phil. KSEO headlines brought to you by JM Electric. Spring is a season for home safety. Find out how JM Electric can make your home safe from electrical hazards. Call them today for a free, no-obligation electrical assessment, 422-7819. That's 422-7819.
You have cancer, and unless you take serious action immediately, you will be dead within 2 years. Devastating words that no one wants to hear ever. Well, my friend Bob heard those words recently, and as you can imagine, it turned his world upside down. Thoughts of losing body parts and body functions, having people treat him differently, the pall of depression, and even consideration of suicide are just some of the things that raced through his mind, until he grabbed hold of himself and decided to deal decisively with this problem. What he has learned in this process, he wants to share with everyone. All of us are touched by cancer every day, if not personally, through experiences of friends and loved ones. Granted, the topic is not a happy one, but Bob's journey is worth chronicling, starting with the next KSCO special this Saturday, 10 a.m. to 12 noon, right here on No Need to Be Alone Ever Radio, AM 1080 KSCO.
The Santa Cruz Art of Guitar exhibit and festival begins June 2nd with events scheduled through July 15th, celebrating the unique creativity of the many world-renowned guitar makers and players who make Santa Cruz County their home. For more information on the exhibits, concerts, and open studios, go to the website santacruzluthiers.org or call Maggie at 1-800-262-8858.
Come enjoy the amazing Redwood Mountain Fair. Music, arts, fun, food, and microbrews. There's something for everyone June 3rd and 4th at beautiful Roaring Camp in Felton. 22 fantastic bands on 2 stages. Arts and crafts, expanded kids zone. Discount tickets and detailed information, links to bands and artists, all available online at redwoodmountainfair.com.
Hi, folks. It's Jim Peterson of Solar for America by Peterson Dean. And how many ads do you hear out there right now on solar companies discounting, discounting, discounting? What does American style mean? Look, the guys out there heavily discounting do not sell you panels made in America. They're made in Mexico and Malaysia. That's a fact. How do you start a relationship with a solar company that lies to you right off the bat? Then they want to have a 20-year relationship with you when they've lied and cheated on you from the word say go? I'll never do that to you at Solar for America. It's always American made by Americans 100% of the time. Roof, solar, backup battery, and home fencing. We don't discount the heck out of our products because we want to be here for you when you need us down the road. I've been doing nothing but roofing and solar since I was 16 years old. This is all I know. I don't lie to you. I'll always build you the best American-made roof, solar, backup battery, or fence money can buy. Give me a call today at 888-389-1249. 888-389-1249. Again, Solar for America, 888-389-1249. CSLB 468-117.
You're listening to KSCO, serving SoCal, Soledad, and Lucia.
Four 479-1080. You're listening to Flight 1080 KSEO's Santa Cruz. The countdown has begun.
Yes.
We're about 43 minutes away from the end of the show.
I know. I can't believe this flight is going so well and smoothly. We're just
We better get to it.
I don't know.
I'm about to get body slammed up.
4791080.
That's
Okay,
in these
so in the interest of our friendships, I'm going to leave this one alone because I think I was just about to get killed on this Kerr Hall protesting. Yeah, I don't think that that was going to turn out very well for me.
Okay.
Oh, well, no, I mean, I absolutely understand where you were coming from on that.
Right.
Absolutely going around and banging on doors and yelling, hey, we know you're in there. That's threatening. That's menacing.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if there's any crime involved, though.
Well, the article that we were dealing with last week from the Sentinel was about people having sort of forms of trauma, being afraid to go back to the office, being afraid to be at the office, being afraid to go back to work, the ones who work in Kerr Hall. And so last week it was more about that, and this week,
this week this is just somebody's letter saying, hey, they didn't get everybody's story.
But stuff like that is traumatic, but things happen. You get in a car accident. It doesn't necessarily mean somebody's at fault all the time. But
the employees in Kerr Hall reacted to the situation differently. Some of them, like the person who wrote the letter, weren't that bothered by it. They didn't feel threatened. Other people obviously did.
Yeah,
and those were the people that
she sounded more inspired
were in the
by
Sentinel article.
Right, and those are the ones that the focus should be on because, when something bad happens...
Well, that's the one that the media is going to focus on.
There's two sides to everything.
Let's say that let's just throw out this hypothetical situation where we got this big old party, the police come to break it up, some of them get their heads cracked, but most of them don't, and they say, hey, the police didn't crack nobody, I'm fine, I'm sitting right here. I wasn't scared. Well, but you know what? Some people were scared. Some people... you don't represent everybody.
What about those stories when you hear about the police going and into the wrong house, like all full of weapons, and they have the wrong house?
Oh, we got a story. We got a story about that.
That's traumatizing, but it's not against. I mean, obviously they messed up, but.
Well, yeah, that's because that's the police doing it.
Just imagine, but.
And they can face lawsuits and things like that. I was just going to say.
Yeah. Sorry, I interrupted you.
Using your example of the party, Dave, who is the media going to talk to? Are they going to talk to the party goers who got their heads cracked in by the police? Or are they going to talk to the party goers who were like, oh, yeah, it was just a cool party, and then the police showed up and shut it down?
They're going to talk to the ones who got their heads cracked open.
Yeah, because it's a story.
Right, but it really happened. I mean, these people really were scared. There really were some staff that were scared.
Yeah, and I think that is what this letter was pointing out, was that...
Not everybody was.
Yeah, the article didn't capture both sides of it.
Right.
But again, what's the media supposed to do? I mean, they're going to go where the story is.
Hey, let me tell you something, lady. Mrs. What,
Shauna.
I don't want
Shauna.
Ryan Masters did a great job on that on that reporting. Ryan Masters did a fantastic job.
Incredibly professional.
And
yeah, and there's different sides to these stories. It's true.
You know what? If you want to check out one of the funniest,
Sentinel, unfortunately, there's so much great stuff in it. They can't get everything in there.
One of the funniest letters I've ever read in that newspaper is in there tonight. I don't want to read it because it's the one I read to you. Remember that? Oh, that is just the funniest thing in today's edition.
Today's edition?
Yes, it is funny.
You have to show
and the Santa Cruz Sentinel printed it. I can't believe they printed it.
Well, really? Yeah, I think it shows that the Sentinel probably has a pretty good sense of humor.
Yeah.
Oh, you can't read it on the air.
I don't want to read it on the air. I'm surprised they printed it. I'm surprised they printed it because it kind of takes a shot at them.
Now you got me curious.
Yeah, it's really. You should go pick up today's edition, or
if
you're really forward thinking, you can take advantage of their special.
Yes.
The phone number
706-3261. And they got three different specials.
You write everything down. That is amazing.
I don't write everything down, but I'm ready if we need it, hopefully.
I think if you just signed up for this right now, give them a call. I believe you could sign up right now.
You can get the e-edition.
Yeah, you could go check it out online.
Right.
The e-edition.
You don't have to wait for the paper to come.
What's the E stand for, Dave?
Electronic.
The number again, 706-3261. Okay, here we go.
Yes. Where are we going?
We're talking about handshakes, right, in the last hour?
But Angela does not want us to do that
anymore. No, she wants us to move on.
So
we found a different way. There's many things you could do with your hands. One of them...
Don't tell us all the things you can do with your hands.
Right. Greg Gianforte, is that his name? Gianforte?
I think so, yeah.
Yes, looks like it. Gianforte.
He's running for, running for Congress, right?
Running for Congress in Montana.
Everybody and their mother has heard this recording.
House of Representatives.
But if you haven't heard this, what you're about to hear is a Republican candidate for Congress choke a reporter.
Oh, really? You have a recording?
Yeah. It's an audio recording. I mean, this is custom made for radio.
Yeah. You're going to hear the ideal way to treat a media member.
So he's running for office.
He's running for office the next day. The election's going to happen the next day. The reporter comes up, and I think he's asking him about Obamacare. He's asking him about something. You'll hear it.
He's asking about the health care.
Healthcare. And then he says, hey, you son of a gun, get out of here. And then you'll hear it. What's interesting, though, is the people recording this He's from The Guardian, the guy who gets choked and gets beaten up. He's from The Guardian. The other guys who are recorded it and witnessed it and are sticking up for this guy are from Fox News.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that interesting?
I think it's interesting. This is why I think it's interesting.
You don't think that Fox News would report the news?
Well, maybe, yeah, of course they would. But this is
They're
why,
witnessing it though.
This is why I think it's interesting, and not in a bad way, Ben, but in a good way. But interesting just means interesting.
Does it? What else?
I think
does it
I don't
mean?
know. I don't want to get
Means-
sidetracked on that though. What I think is that I think it's great that the media, the news organizations, the reporters are sticking up for each other. I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, and I think
it's interesting in that way.
The Guardian or this journalist is particularly known for his liberal take on things.
Right, and Fox News is known for their, but again, that doesn't matter. Screw all that. That doesn't matter when this is
especially
something.
when a crime was committed.
A crime was committed, but there's more than that.
Misdemeanor.
There's more than that. That crime is just a crime. That's forget that. I mean,
Well,
to me, I
don't know if that journalist can forget that.
Well,
he got his
that's
butt
true.
whooped.
There's something much bigger here, though. I mean, that's not even the tip of the iceberg. There's something so much bigger here. I mean, that's nothing. That's nothing. But let's play this, and then we'll explore it a little bit more because I think it's scary.
Does it have the WWE commentary along with it?
I don't know. Maybe let's check it out. Are you ready? Have you heard this yet?
Oh God! Someone stop the match.
Oh man! So check. This is kind of violent too. So if
oh yeah,
it's hard to
warning out
listen
there.
to.
Is it?
Yeah, it really
I
is.
wasn't prepared for this. Okay, I'm ready. I can.
So
jump down
the
if I want
Republican's
to.
name is Greg Gianforte. And the guy who's going to get beat up and is asking him questions is working for The Guardian, and he's going to ask him questions about
He's a reporter.
I think you mean
He asked
the
him
victor
about
by technical knockout, Gianforte?
Right.
I believe the GOP health care bill that
Ask
they
him about
just
healthcare.
passed
Okay,
through the House.
you'll
I'm
be
not
able to
sure,
hear
though. I
it. Here
haven't
we go. But just in case you
heard
don't get to hear it, that's what
but
he's.
be prepared. This is not a nice thing.
And then at the end, you're going to hear him say, "Hey, can I get your guys' names?" And I think those are the Fox reporters saying, "Hey, we got the whole thing."
Before or after the bell?
After the bell. Here we go.
And what you thought
we'll talk to you about that later.
Yeah, but there's not going to be time. I'm just curious if you
Okay,
have the
speak
right
with
now.
Shane, please.
But you don't.
Sick and tired of you guys. The last guy that came in here, you did the same thing. Get the hell out of here. Jesus. Get the hell out of here. The last guy did the same thing. You were the Guardian?
Yes, and you just broke my glasses.
You, the last guy did the same damn thing.
You just body slammed me and broke my glasses.
Wow.
Get the hell out of here.
Learn some fighting
If you'd like
moves,
me to get the
Four
hell out,
Eyes.
I'd also like to call the police. Can I get you guys' names?
Wow. You gotta leave.
He just body slammed me.
You gotta leave.
Oh yeah, see, they were saying you got to leave. So that was the guy's bodyguards. But I know Fox News reporters were there, and they're sticking up for the guy, man. How could you not stick up for?
What's the next thing?
Yeah, I don't know.
Stop it.
I don't know. It's just a news story.
He's got YouTube going, so it goes to the next story. I'm like, make
Dancing
it stop.
Kittens
Make
was the
it
next
stop.
story.
No.
So what do you think about that? Or should I start?
I think that guy is under a ton of pressure. I don't feel
Yeah,
bad
you know-
for
and
him,
you know what,
but
he-
I bet you he's
I think he just won the election for himself.
Check this out. And oh, dude, I hope
if
not.
you beat
Dude,
people
that
up
is-
or inspire others to do so, your chances
Well, if you
are
beat
better.
up the media members, you do.
Yeah.
Dude, listen, that's what I want to talk about.
Wow.
But there's another thing I want to mention here first, and that is that like 2/3 of the state's votes were already sent in before yesterday.
Yeah, apparently vote by mail balloting is very popular, man,
Yeah,
in Montana.
I mean, like 2/3 of the state has already
And
voted.
they're dispersed quite in Montana. Isn't it very rural? Or am I
That's
being,
probably
am
why.
I generalizing
I don't
on
know.
that
I don't
one?
know, but that would make sense.
I always think of
voting by
Montana
mail.
as mountains and rivers and
Really?
nature
Sounds
and
beautiful,
country
man.
And, yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. But that would make sense for voting by mail. That would make sense.
Well, plus it's more it's financially better and it's less of a footprint and all the other good stuff.
So that's number one. Don't vote early. Don't
Dave, don't tell people not to vote early.
Because a candidate
don't
might
send it in,
body slam someone
well,
on the last day
don't
before
send
the
your votes
election.
in a month early. I mean, what are you doing?
Well, maybe you know who you're going to vote for. You don't
Okay,
usually
so-
have some.
Yeah, okay,
you
wait,
don't
Maybe
have
they
a
care about his
candidate.
politics and they
That's-
don't care about him body slamming reporters.
That's what I want to talk about.
Arr.
I put my two fingers up like that.
There are people who've been wanting
Never
to
done
take
that
back
before.
their vote and change their vote, and they haven't been able to because.
So let's say you are a conservative.
Yeah.
Which I like to think of myself as being conservative, not a Republican, but conservative. And I had voted early. Holy crap! You think that I wouldn't want to take my vote back? You think that I would, just because I'm conservative means I would vote for somebody like that? That is, dude, Drea, I have never seen anything more scary in my life. I mean, maybe actually I have, like when the cops were behind me.
That's pretty
That's
scary.
pretty damn scary, dude. But
that sounded really, the reporter sounded shaken up or shook up as well. Well, he did.
But he gets beat. You know what? Take him.
Oh, come on. He's a reporter. He's got glasses. He gets slammed to the floor. His glasses get broken. I mean, holy moly.
Here's why I hope that he doesn't win. And I hope that anybody who is conservative and that voted for him doesn't accept this kind of behavior. This is terrible. Mm-hmm. Number one, the government should never, ever, ever lay their hands on reporters. Ever. I mean, what's next? Do we make them disappear?
Yeah, that's the goal, right?
That is one of the I don't know if you guys realize how important it is to have journalists doing their job.
Are you talking about the lamestream media, Dave?
I'm talking about journalists, whether it be Alex Jones, whether it be whoever you think a journalist is. The media has to be able to cover these guys, and if not, and if it becomes acceptable that we can beat them up and that we can escort them or that we don't have to talk to them, dude, that is very, very dangerous.
Dave, it's like I don't even know you at all, man.
No, but what?
The lamestream media has ruined this country. Don't you know that?
Anybody who's down with that guy is an idiot, and you give people like me a bad name. People who support this kind of stuff and say, "Oh yeah," you give people like me a bad name. Who I like to think I'm a little more rational.
What's giving you a bad name here? Because you're media, or what are you saying?
I'm saying the people who treat the media like this.
Yeah,
I think there's
people who think that it's okay to do this. Because I guarantee you, there's people out there that say, "Yeah, damn right."
But
I guarantee you,
those people are sick.
Gianforte had a number of his supporters, and I mean, if you've heard me, I've been sort of satirizing them, I guess. Mm-hmm. Who probably applauded him for chokeslamming.
I know, and that's.
But we also have a current head of our administration that's been vilifying the press for months, so it's being encouraged.
That's what I wanted to talk about too.
Yeah.
So people are saying, well, some people are blaming this on Trump, and this morning I'm hearing this, I'm thinking, oh God, quit it, blame this on Trump. Are you kidding me?
I can see where that not directly,
and then
but I can see.
And then I start thinking about it, and then I start thinking about it, and the gears start chugging, and they're chugging, and they're chugging.
That's that noise I'm hearing.
You smell it?
Yeah,
overheating.
You got
smell
oil.
Overheating.
You got oil. Put some oil in
fire.
your ear.
And thinking about it, I'm thinking, after how many months has he been president? It doesn't matter. But we've all heard him just telling us that the media can't be trusted. They're the enemy of the people. I don't know if he's used those words, but maybe he is partially responsible for this. I don't know, but it's not out of the. I can see why people would say that.
One of our callers just called up to say that ignorance begets violence every time.
What does that mean?
That means if you don't know what else to do because you're too stupid to know what else to do, you get all violent.
Next call. Drop them out. I don't know what does that mean. Oh, so
ignorance begets violence.
So this guy didn't know what to say?
Yeah, basically, you don't know what else to do. You go and whack somebody.
You're one day away from the elections. You don't have to say anything. All you have to say is, "Hey, I don't want to talk to you. Beat it. I'll talk to you tomorrow once I win."
So, right? Beget as a word, just so you know, it means to give rise to or bring about. So ignorance, if you're ignorant, you do not know, begets, it leads to violence.
479-1080.
Good one, caller.
Well, that's just one thing. I mean, I can think of a lot of things that lead to violence.
Yeah, but ignorance is one of them.
Okay, that's one of them.
I don't know better.
479-1080, DM at ksco.com. We're going to break for CBS News.
Maybe we find something fun for the last half hour, because I like to have a little fun on Thursday.
Yeah, that one got a little gnarly, huh?
Well.
You want to talk about Ben Carson saying poverty is partly a state of mind?
Is this after or before he said that immigrants came in the bottom of slave ships?
This is after.
Jeez Louise.
This is after. But, I think he's got a good point here.
I can't believe he's a brain surgeon. Just amazes me.
Well, okay, so the quote he said is, I don't know if it's a direct quote, but he says basically, a part of poverty is a mindset. And he says, you could take somebody with the right mindset, take everything from them, all their money, everything, put them on the street, and they'll be back at the top.
I want you to take one of the Walton children and then from Walmart, and we'll do that experiment with them and see how well they do.
And then you take somebody
they can make as much money as a professional baseball player in like the third league.
And then you take somebody who doesn't have any money, give him $1 million, and he'll work his way right back to the bottom.
Yeah,
on the other side of the break,
they're both true.
It's overwhelming.
I have Gianforte's campaign statement about the body slam.
Ooh, okay. KSEO Santa Cruz, we got a break for CBS News.
CBS News Update. President Trump's travel ban knocked down again in court. This time it was the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals siding with civil rights groups who say the policy illegally targets Muslims. CBS News Justice reporter Paula Reed sat in on arguments.
There were a lot of questions about campaign statements that the president made, specifically promising a, quote, Muslim ban. And when you take this policy in the context of those statements, most of these judges were concerned that this may not pass constitutional scrutiny.
More from CBS's Jeff Pegues.
The administration has said the threat of terrorism justifies the ban. The dissenting judges agreed. The real losers in this case are the millions of individual Americans whose security is threatened on a daily basis by those who seek to do us harm.
Attorney General Jeff Sessions says the administration will appeal today's ruling. CBS News Update. I'm Deborah Rodriguez.
You're listening to KSCO Santa Cruz at 6:32. Time for local headlines. Here's Phil DeSeth.
Thanks, Dave, and good evening, Central Coast. After a 4-month restoration, a well-known trail at Point Lobos State Natural Reserve has been reopened. The Sea Lion Point Trail suffered severe erosion during the winter storms, and members of the California Conservation Corps have been fixing the trails so that they are now firmer, flatter, and have better drainage, and they are also now ADA compliant for people with limited mobility, all in time for the Memorial Weekend. A number of motorists saw a man dressed as a clown standing at the shoulder of Highway 101 yesterday morning. 61-year-old Larry Allen Tovey, who was seen between Prunedale and Aromas at the time, was reportedly holding a machete over his head. After speaking with Tovey for a while, law enforcement officers determined that Tovey, although he had a sick sense of humor, had not committed any crimes. And the Salinas Police Department announced that 6 new officers have been hired. The 6 recruits graduated from the academy yesterday morning were sworn in the evening at City Hall. The department now has a total of 141 officers. It's 6:33. Time to get back to Flight 1080. I'm Phil DeSeth for KSCO Radio.
This is the Veterans Take Charge Radio Show. This Sunday and every Sunday from 16 to 1800 right here on AM 1080 KSCO.
I just want to give you guys props because you guys are doing some really beautiful work, super cool work for veterans. It's awesome what you're doing. Really, really is. You guys should get syndicated.
We're working on it.
Oh, good. Good. Are you seriously? Are you pulling my leg? I can't.
Oh, absolutely. We're trying to get worldwide, man.
You are, because you're talented, you're smart, you're funny, and you're doing a seriously good service. So props to you. I love it. Take charge. I love that.
But I read at the top of your website, it says, take charge of your biochemistry through foods and supplements.
I love that idea. I love that idea of taking charge. You know, and this is what we're talking about here today, this whole idea of PTSD.
Check out the archive at zbsradio.com. That's zbsradio.com.
We are on Facebook. Facebook.com/KSCO Vets this Sunday and every Sunday from 16 to 1800 right here on AM 1080 KSCO.
Hi, registered pharmacist Ben Fuchs here. I've been studying healthy bodies for 35 years, and what I've got to tell you may shock and surprise you, but if you listen up, it may change your life. While many topically applied vitamins have skin health benefits, none can come close to the wide-ranging anti-aging effects provided by the retinoids, commonly called vitamin A, that is available in 3 major forms. The most common and the most stable form is known as retinyl palmitate, and while it's readily available in creams and lotions, it doesn't do very much for your skin. The second form of vitamin A is retinol. It's more active, and in fact, if you use a high enough concentration, say 5 to 10%, you can get a nice exfoliating vitamin A skin peel. However, retinol is quite unstable, and for this reason, you're only going to find these kinds of concentrations in a medical or skin professional setting. The third type is the most important. Chemists call it retinoic acid. It's known as active vitamin A because in the skin, it's the form that's doing the work. The benefits of topically applied retinoic acid include thicker, stronger skin, diminished dark spots, and improvement in photo damage, less wrinkles, and healing and prevention of acne blemishes. Retinoic acid-containing products do require a doctor's prescription, and they've been known to cause reactions. If you've tried to use retinoic acid and ended up with a rash, try using or upping your daily dose of essential fatty acids. Low levels of omega-3 and 6 essential fats can make skin sensitive, and in deficiency states, irritations are much more likely to occur. Pharmacist Ben here, urging you to go to kscohealth.com to order Beyond Tangy Tangerine, the Healthy Start Pack, and other nutritional supplements that I personally use and recommend. You can purchase these premium quality products at wholesale prices online at kscohealth.com. That's kscohealth.com. I'm the pharmacist that believes that staying healthy and strong is not only about medicine, it's about giving your body the raw materials it needs to do its work. Go to kscohealth.com. Make sure you check out the cool videos too at kscohealth.com. That's kscohealth.com.
You're listening to KSCO, serving Scotts Valley, Gonzales, and New Hydra.
Four 479-1080. Yeah, it's all right. Go ahead, put your hands up. Have some fun. You know what? Have some fun because we have longer daylight hours. Take a look outside right now. It's 6:38. The sunlight's still out there. Man, life is great. It's a little cloudy, right? That's okay.
Today was a day without sunglasses the entire day. I think the sun came out for like 10 minutes. I'm in Live Oak, and it was like 10 minutes where it came out.
Really?
That's it. Maybe 20.
479-1080.
But tomorrow is supposed to be more sunny, I believe, according to my phone.
You can go out for a hike. Are you going to go out for a hike? Anybody out there?
Ooh.
You want to watch out for Lyme disease. Lyme disease is out there.
Oh, Lyme disease. Ticks.
You know, before we get into that, I promised everyone that I'd read the Gianforte campaign statement.
Oh, that's right. Go ahead. I got to get this thing highlighted.
So
here.
this is from, of course, their campaign. This is the campaign spokesperson for the Gianforte campaign. All right, so let's see. Tonight, as Greg was giving a separate interview in a private office, the Guardian's Ben Jacobs, that is the reporter, entered the office without permission, aggressively shoved a recorder in Greg's face, and began asking badgering questions.
Mm-hmm.
Jacobs was asked to leave, and after asking Jacobs to lower the recorder, Jacobs declined. Okay, so he shoved the recorder in his face, and then he asked him to move the recorder, and he didn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Greg, so this is Gianforte.
Yeah.
Greg then attempted to grab the phone that was pushed in his face.
Uh-huh.
Jacobs, the reporter, grabbed Greg Gianforte's wrist and spun away from Greg, pushing them both to the ground.
Weren't his hands around his neck?
Yeah.
Was he wearing the phone on his neck like a tie?
Yeah, let's just compare. So really quickly, the Fox News witnesses or reporters that were there said that this guy grabbed the reporter's neck with both hands and then threw him over himself, like a choke slam, body slam, whatever you want to call it. In this version of the events, Jacobs, the reporter, is the one who grabs Greg's wrist, Greg Gianforte, and spun away from him, then pushing both to the ground.
That sounds like spinning to me,
yeah,
doesn't it?
I'm not sure.
Spun and spinning.
So the reporter grabbed his wrist and then spun away and pushed them both to the ground. So really, in this version of the event, it's really the reporter's fault.
Well, yeah.
It's unfortunate.
Duh.
Anyway, this is the final sentence. It's unfortunate that this aggressive behavior from a liberal journalist created this scene at our campaign volunteer barbecue.
They literally blame him.
Yeah, it's unfortunate
They don't just make it sound like the physical altercation was started by him. They actually say it's his fault that it's getting so much attention. He's got broken glasses and some sort of something.
I know they had to take him in to x-ray his elbow because they thought his elbow might have been broken.
Yeah, he had a little brace on. I mean... You know?
And that could
he
just
shouldn't
be
have
for
been
show.
shoving that tape
right.
recorder in that guy's face.
And even if it's all just
Was
for
he
show.
think he is a politician?
That is just
He
so
thinks
bad.
he's a reporter.
He would have been better off not releasing that statement. That is such an insensitive
blames her-
statement.
yeah.
And
she should have crossed her legs. Yeah,
Well,
that's that kind of
wow.
crap.
Was Paul Ryan,
Victims
I think,
blaming victims. Yeah.
Paul Ryan, I think, asked Gianforte to apologize to the reporter. I don't know if that's going to happen.
Do we know who's winning the race? I mean,
I was looking. The results
Montana's-
come out at 8:00 Montana time. So I was
That's
checking.
what, 6 o'clock
It's
or 7 o'clock?
our
here?
time. I think.
Oh,
I think they're
darn
Mountain time.
it. Well, let me read the story. Maybe it'll be 7 o'clock by the time I finish.
It's a
UC Santa
long
Cruz
story.
professor Marm Kilpatrick is trying to understand why the reported cases of Lyme disease in the U.S. have tripled in the past 20 years.
Marm Kilpatrick.
Marm Kilpatrick.
Heart. Okay.
Lyme disease is transmitted from certain mammals to humans through the bite of black-legged ticks infected with a specific bacterium.
Mm-hmm.
The result of his study, published in a paper in a special issue of Philosophical Transactions of the Royal Society B.
Mm-hmm. So that's a long
Yeah,
name. That sounds like a professor would write for that.
Yeah, right. The address or the paper addresses what effects the growth of Lyme disease carrying ticks have. The populations, what effect the growing population has of these ticks.
What do you mean?
Okay.
Wait, what? The
So-
growing population? Help me out. I'm confused.
If there's more ticks with Lyme disease, what effect does that have on the
Okay, so
ecosystem?
the relationship between ticks with Lyme disease and society.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
I guess, yeah, that's one way to put it.
All right.
Kilpatrick and his teams their work confirmed many theories, but also brought many long-held beliefs into question.
Oh,
For
okay.
instance, how it spreads. Everybody thinks that deer carry these ticks, right?
Mm-hmm.
They do. But some of the highest concentrations, some of the areas with the highest concentrations of ticks had no deer. There's no deer there, which leads them
dear.
to believe, which leads them to believe that they're being carried by other mammals primarily, meaning rabbits, rodents,
humans,
maybe even humans.
Don't they drop out of trees or they get up high in the grasses, and when you walk through the grasses, they cling on to you?
Yeah, definitely tall grasses is
Right?
a common place for them to latch
So
on.
even like feet and socks is not. I mean, shoes like solid shoes and socks won't necessarily be.
You wanna hear some,
protection against?
Well, yeah, if you have high socks, I guess, but
Okay.
pants would be better.
You want to hear some ways
Okay.
to deal with Lyme disease, or some of the ways that are being used to deal with it?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. A vaccine.
What?
Used to be available.
Does it cause
80%
autism?
effective. No, but a bunch of misinformation caused people to not trust it. It is no longer available, but it was. There was a vaccine for Lyme disease.
Probably wasn't profitable enough.
Pesticides are available. They're only usable on a small scale, though.
Mm-hmm.
Other strategies for dealing with Lyme disease target host animals like deer. They could be lured to feeding stations where they rub against rollers that apply pesticides to their fur. So, you put some oats out there or something, they go and rub against the rollers, and it's applying tick-killing pesticides on their fur.
I always wonder, I mean, what eats ticks? I'm assuming like birds eat ticks, right?
Ew, yeah, I guess.
Rodents.
Ew.
I think rodents do.
Gross.
Eat ticks?
Speaking of rodents, another method is to treat cotton balls with pesticides and leave them available for rats so that they can go and make their nests with the cotton that would kill the ticks on the mice.
Interesting.
Yeah, right. That one
I
is
saw
that
a
one is
video
really
not too long
interesting.
ago. When you get a tick out, you need sort of certain tweezers.
You got 24 hours, by the way, to get the tick out.
And I
safely.
saw a video. It's really cool. Ticks do not like peppermint oil.
Really?
So if you put peppermint oil on them, they crawl out on their own. It's a
I always
cool
heard that you
video.
could hold a lighter to their butt and the back right out, and you don't have to go through the
Yeah,
pain.
that sounds like fun.
Yeah. My dogs used to get them all the
I
time.
know.
and we'd
I've
just
known
twist them
people
and
that get
twist them
ticks
right
in
off.
places you don't want to be holding the lighter
Ew,
to.
what is
So
that?
This is a tick.
Is that a butt? What
I'm
is
showing
that?
Dave the video. It's a tick in someone's skin. It looks
someone
like it's
volunteered to get a tick on their arm?
I don't know, and it's got peppermint oil.
Well, that's a little tiny baby tick. That thing is not embedded yet, right?
Well,
Let's see.
they just put a
he just-
drop of peppermint oil
On the tick.
tick that's in the skin. I hope we're
Is
not
it already
grossing everybody
attached?
out. Yeah, it's attached. It's in there.
Okay, so now I'm
And
watching.
and it starts to crawl out. It's like, I don't like
Oh,
this.
dang.
So it leaves on its own.
Wow, dude, that thing's backing right out of there. That is
Yeah.
so gross.
It runs for it. It's really gross. I'm sorry, people.
Wow, look
but
at that
if
thing.
you
It's
guys
backing
have
right out of
this
there.
peppermint oil,
And it's running.
They don't
It's
have to
running.
watch it.
if this truly works.
That thing's running.
I know. Who thought a tick could be so fast? Yeah, it didn't like peppermint oil.
Yeah, well, there you go, you guys.
So that's another trick.
Peppermint oil, which, by the way,
I haven't tried it myself, but
Youngevity sells fantastic peppermint oil, 218-5726
cool.
if you wish to order yours.
Very cool.
There you go. It could back ticks out of your
They
out
run
of your
for
skin.
it.
Wow, I've never seen that before.
I know. I thought it was kind of cool when I saw it. It was kind of gross, but kind of cool at the same time.
Possums eat ticks. Someone sent in a text.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nasty.
So if we just got rid of ticks altogether,
right?
I mean, would that really have that much of an effect?
I think that we should get rid of mosquitoes. Those
I think
seem
mosquitoes
to have less purpose.
Yeah, it's because they're able to fly, which makes them much more dangerous as far as spreading
they carry
disease.
all sorts of diseases.
Yeah.
And everybody you should also not leave standing water around, right? We've had a lot of rain, so if you can avoid, if you got a bucket out in the backyard or something, just turn it over. Because get less standing water, and then you get a lot of mosquitoes. So, people, which makes me think I got to go do that at home.
I think the other thing you can do if you have like a thing of water that's too big to tip out is, I think, soap on the surface of the water breaks the surface tension, and they can't lay eggs.
Oh, perfect. That's a good trick.
479-1080.
I got to get this picture of this tick away from me, though. It's really not
I know, that is nasty.
It's like kind of gross.
I'm glad I'm in this other studio for that.
Yeah.
Let's get out to the phone lines.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right.
Jeff is there.
Jeff, calling from Santa Cruz. You're in the air.
Hey, this is Jeff from Santa Cruz. How y'all doing?
Hey, Jeff. What's going on?
How are you?
Yeah, well, I'm going to tell you about ticks. You know, I go noodling and I camp outside all the time, but don't shoot a deer in the summertime.
Why?
Because when you hang it up, the ticks will run all off of it. There's thousands of them.
Are you serious?
You know, yeah. And so, like, if you go out to the woods or whatever, put vinegar on you.
Vinegar?
It'll repel ticks and stuff.
Won't like the deer smell you then?
Know,
killer deer?
We poached deer back in the day down south. You know, we put out a bunch of apples out there and have our 12-gauge pumps out there, you know, with that double-aught buck, and just slaughter them deer. And then we take them back and make beef jerky, take off the hindquarters and stuff, you know, prepare
venison
to smoke it. We was poor people, you know, but we could afford, you know, a box of shells didn't cost us like $1.50.
Right.
Back in the 70s. But them ticks are pretty bad down south.
Wow, Jeff, thank you for your call.
Interesting. I think that's kind of neat.
Did the ticks run off the dead deer?
No, but they
that's
could
like
hunt.
nightmarish.
They didn't have a lot of money, but they could still hunt and have something to eat.
Yeah,
I'm not. I mean, I'm not a fan of sports hunting, but I think that like a sort of a like going to Africa and killing animals because you feel like it. But if you do,
that's horrible. That's a terrible idea.
For game control or for food and
yeah, I guess
the whole animal.
Like the mighty hunters at McDonald's that hunt the cows and chickens.
Exactly. Yeah.
Turn them into
Argentina.
McNuggets.
Yeah, venison you have to prepare a certain way, which is deer meat, right? You have to. You can't just fry it up like a steak. It'll be chewy and unedible kind of thing. You have to marinate it and treat it a certain way because it's wild game. So I've never cooked venison.
Yeah, I don't know. My grandmother used to make. My great grandmother used to make deer jerky.
Deer
jerky from
yeah.
venison. Yeah. But that was a long, long time ago.
When you were a little boy.
That was when I was a little boy. All those people are dead now. Those were the Indians in my family.
You
that was them.
that,
but they're
yeah.
all.
Oh, they are the whole.
They're all dead. I have a couple cousins who are, kind of into it, but not so much. But yeah, all those guys are all dead now. They're all gone.
We're gonna get a dehydrator because we got a bunch of fruit trees.
Really?
And we're gonna dry some fruit this summer.
Pineapple's the best. Did you get a pineapple tree?
No. But we have pluots and apricots and plums and peaches and lots of fruit trees. So.
479-1080. Okay, so you know what? Let's do the Ben Carson story.
Okay, I'm not prepared for this one, so you're gonna have to inform me.
Okay, let me prep it for you.
Tell me the story.
Ben Carson was on Sirius Radio, I don't know, Sirius XM, and he was being interviewed by somebody. And they asked him, about poverty. I don't really know too much. I tried to get the longest clip.
He's in charge of housing and development, isn't he?
Yes, he's in charge of housing and development.
He's in charge of a lot of people having roofs over their heads, or not.
Here we go. Let's take a listen to this and see what you think, okay?
A large extent.
Here we go.
I think poverty to a large extent is also a state of mind. You take somebody who has the right mindset, you can take everything from them and put them on the street. And I guarantee you, in a little while, they'll be right back up there. And you take somebody with the wrong mindset, you can give them everything in the world. They'll work their way back down to the bottom.
What do you think about that? 4719. He's catching a lot of crap for that, and I don't see what the big deal is. I think he's right on the money.
I want you to
there.
think about what we were talking about last week when we were talking about how people have to have 2 or 3 jobs to get by.
Mm-hmm.
That's not
what he's talking about, though.
But it's the same kind of thing. It's poverty. You're living in that poverty. You have to work 2 or 3 different types of jobs.
He's talking about a mindset. The poverty mindset.
Yeah, if you have to have 3 jobs to feed your family and pay rent, then that's not a mindset. That just is how it is, as the saying goes. So there's a big difference there. As far as I'm concerned, I don't think that poverty is a choice and a mindset per se.
No, listen. I think he's entirely right. I think like we were talking about last week, I like to see people work. I like to see them work. And if you do work, you should be able to earn a living. And if you're not earning a living, then something else has to happen, right? I mean, it's just the way it is. And if you think that if you don't try to make something else happen, you don't change that mindset, then you're going to stay there, man.
That's a great excuse for income inequality, for keeping paying the little guys the little bit of money while the CEOs walk away with 300 times as much as the average income in the thing.
It's an excuse.
So I don't buy that. I think there's politics behind it as well. Yes, there's part of it could be a mindset.
Sure,
but it's not solely a mindset, because we have legislation in this country that enables this type of behavior as well. The wealthy keeping more wealthy, and all that.
And we also have legislation. You're right, that allows poor people to not have to accept responsibility. I see it all the time. My friends, my family. I see this. I live it.
Well, I've seen a lot of people who actually have needs on occasion and can't meet them, and I like having
I don't know how long you've lived
in
poor circumstances or around people like that, but I have, and I tell you, he's right on the money. He is right on the money. Some of these people are just destined to have nothing. You give them something, and they just piss it away. They have no idea.
But you're talking about some people.
Listen, this is how it happens.
You're broad brushing.
Wait. This is how it happens, because they don't know any better. There's no one to show them that this is the way you do it.
And why is that?
Because they had nobody to train them. And it has to stop. It's a circle it's a circular mindset, and it has to stop. Somebody has to say, wait, this is not the way it's done. This is not the way we do it. You go and you do it this way. You got to go to school. You got to get a good education, whatever it is.
And you pay $40,000 a year for education. Okay, it's just come on.
Go to junior college. Do something, though. But I tell you what, sitting around not having a job, and that is not going to get you anywhere.
But I'm not seeing that. See, I don't agree with that, because if you're going to pay everybody who needs help or is in poverty and put them into one bucket of laziness, I think that's BS, big time.
But I tell you what, if you put them on a scale, you put one bucket over here and the other bucket over here, I'd hate to tell you which one.
Okay, you pick a bunch. Go find yourself a bunch of millionaires all over this country, and you'll find that they're actually not doing anything besides sitting by their pools and doing jack diddly squat.
That might be.
They're not.
But poor people
they're
are the
not
same way.
working hard.
That might be.
But they're okay because they have money, so they don't have to work hard.
It's just the way people are, and to say that it's not like that is denying a reality.
I think that's a simplified answer for a complicated problem.
All right, 479-1080.
So there. I think I
Ben.
spat a little bit.
Ben's quiet over there.
I can see why you don't want to bring up this topic.
Mom and Dad are getting into it.
I just want to say, first of all, I think people are sort of jumping the gun here with this quote. He only says that
part of it.
It's part of
I know.
poverty.
Okay.
So
that's why I wanted to play it. I wanted people to hear it.
The other thing is, I also think he's wrong. I mean, if he really believes that you don't
think
people
it's part
who
of
have
it?
the right. No, I mean, I'll accept that it's a small part of it, but also if you really believe this, how do you explain people who work their butts off and are still stuck in poverty?
I know, but how you explain it is they don't have the right mindset. They don't understand that if you can still work, if you're going to work that hard, man, focus it in a different area, because if you're going to work that hard that many hours, there's plenty of things that you can do. That you might start poor and you might say, man, what am I doing? But they do pay off. Hard work. And not just hard work, but smart.
But hard work
focus.
can also be like Sisyphus, depending on where you are. You want to work really hard for $10, $11, $12 an hour. Try to get out of that cycle. A cycle of poverty is difficult to just get out of, and it's not just a matter of a mindset.
It's part of it. It is part of it. It is absolutely part of it.
Well, I bet you we got a lot of students out there that are big time in debt, trying to make ends meet, and invested in their own education, and now they've got. But that's all the same thing. This is all part of the poverty, having to have 2 or 3 different kinds of jobs.
Maybe you're talking about a different you're talking about students, and I don't know too many students.
This guy's in charge of our housing.
I don't know too many students. Where I come from, a lot of people don't go to college. Where I come from is poor. It is poor.
Yeah.
And I see this. I see it, and it's not made up. I mean, it's there. I see it every day.
Yeah, but I don't think that I do think it's way too simple. But okay.
I mean, it is simple. I mean, maybe.
And I don't think the problem is as simple as a mindset. I don't think it's solved with
no,
just changing
but he
your
said
attitude.
That's part of it.
Yeah,
right?
But it also, for him being in his position and being in charge of housing and urban development, makes me wonder if he just sees poverty as something that you just have to.
He came from a very poor place.
Yeah.
Right, and then he got into college somehow, became a brain surgeon.
Yeah, great, but his education didn't cost what it does now.
I don't know.
In relation to what
he did see it and grow up
there
in it.
There are always people that have been able to get out of the
right, and that's what he's saying.
It's true, but there is a cycle of poverty that is encouraged by our legislation and by our communities and our society. So I'm going to stop ranting because I'm sure I'm pissing everybody off out there. So, but I won't be back till next Tuesday, so you'll be fine. I'm still a nice person.
All right.
Let's get phone calls.
Let
me
phone
give
calls.
it to me. All right, let's go.
Go.
Feel like Billy.
Andres is calling from La Selva Beach. You're in the air.
Hey, totally agree with you, Dave. I was wondering what you guys think of automation and automated things taking over people's jobs. I would assume, Drea, you're probably against it. You guys were talking about how everybody who has a job should get a chance. So do you think that automation is a bad thing? People should not use the self-checkout at stores and stuff like that.
I use that a lot.
Yeah. I had a customer way back when who would intentionally send faxes in for orders, and we wanted him to go electronic, and he didn't want to go electronic because he felt that when he sent a fax, he was actually ensuring somebody's job because somebody had to handle that fax, deal with that fax, and stuff like that. Little did he know that it actually went into a computer. But so I get what he's saying. Automation's coming, whether we like it or not. Finding alternatives of how to make a living.
Are you against automation? I mean, that's a simplistic.
I would think anyone who's against automation is taking a very barbaric viewpoint of it.
Right.
I mean, there's nothing you can do to stop technology.
It's a little too simplistic to say I'm against automation. That's like
really
it's
what,
like the Luddites,
what
right?
we should
like
be
you were saying
exactly
on Tuesday,
what we should be focusing on is adapting to automation.
4791080, and then taxing automation too, right? If you're going to be using robots, we want money paid so that we can pay for social programs.
Isn't that just
We're
anti-automation?
going to need social programs because
we will need social programs.
Isn't that just putting up more barriers to automation? If you tax automation, that's going to disincentivize.
Then keep the humans.
Well, you're just. I mean,
if you are going to automate, then you pay heavy taxes so that we can pay for social programs.
You're going to get less automation, though.
But then we're back to UBI. It's the same kind of principle.
I don't know.
So are you against automation, Dave?
Man,
if you're willing to tax automation, then
I got 1 minute. Don't confuse me.
We got 1 minute, two callers.
I got 1 minute. I'm forgetting my name here.
Dave, your name's Dave.
Who's online too?
What's on second? I think we got Michael in Scotts Valley.
You're in the air.
Hey, I love the broad brush that was applied to all the poor people and how none of those people are responsible. But for the rich people, those millionaires are laying by the pool.
Yeah.
That's not a broad brush. And Dave, I got to say, man, I got such respect for you. I can tell you come from the school of hard knocks. You get it. You've seen it. You've lived it. And you've worked your ass off, I'll bet, to get where you are today. I mean, obviously, it's a lot of luck. You got to have a lot of things on your side, but one of them is hard work, man.
A lot of them. A big part of it is hard work. For me, what's worked for me is hard work and a positive attitude.
Yeah.
Will get you further than laziness and a bad attitude.
And I'd like to have the hard workers paid well so that they can actually also lay by the pool on occasion.
Krishna, you got about 20 seconds. I hope you can do it.
I just cannot stand this young woman, her pessimism and hate of people who have 2 nickels to rob. Come on, young woman.
There you go, 20 seconds.
I'm not that nasty. Am I nasty? Am I mean to people?
No, but that's okay because you won't be back till when?
Next Tuesday. You guys are all free for me for the whole weekend. Happy Memorial Day weekend, by the way. Enjoy it.
KSEO Santa Cruz.
U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals.
Writing for the majority, Chief Judge Roger Gregory wrote, Mr. Trump's order speaks with vague words of national security, but in context drips with religious intolerance, animus, and discrimination. The administration has said the threat of terrorism justifies the ban. The dissenting judges agreed. The